There you go.
Okay, that worked. There we have it. There's a bit of delay from here. Oh, you know how this works.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about. Okay, let's see. Hello there. Welcome to Vanishing Gates. I am Jay, your host of the Strange and the Unexplained. If you'll notice this, if you're watching the live stream, you'll notice that Jack is not with me tonight. In fact, we have a much more attractive person with me. This is my buddy Lance in the studio. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Doing good. Thank you for inviting me on the show today, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So, this is your first time on Vanishing Gates.
It's my first time on a podcast.
On any podcast.
Yeah.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm a virgin.
Diverginator.
Oh.
Wow. So, the show, guys, if you're new to Vanishing Gates, we talk about just about whatever. Paranormal, unexplained, the extraordinary, etc., etc. If you have comments and you're watching the live stream on Facebook, feel free to comment in the chat and we'll try to respond to you. And if you would like to email us your stories of the strange and unexplained, email tellvgyourstories@gmail.com. We appreciate any time that happens. It's really fun. Otherwise, we're just talking out of our asses.
Pretty much.
So, yeah. Basically, what we do now is we're going to do, I got a couple sponsors I'm going to talk about. We got Manitoba's 2 Street Music, as always. They provide a lot of this equipment that we use, including that wonderful drum set that I've just plugged in today. So I'll be doing some demo work, or some work for the intro. I'm trying to update that. And then also Lost Boys Jiu-Jitsu and MMA.
Nice. Those guys are good over there.
They are some of the best. They rock. Anyway, Lance, tell the folks at home about yourself a little bit.
Well, a couple things. Yeah. New to podcast. New to Humboldt. I just came up here 8 months ago, April. T-Mobile decided to grace me with a little bit of money to move up here and open a store. It's been great. Met some cool people. I met you, Jay. I met a bunch of cool people at a lot of local places so far. So far, I'm having a great time. It's a new chapter in my life. I lived in the Bay Area for a really long time. It's been, I think, since I was in high school. So
it's definitely a different pace of life up here than it is down in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I think that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, it's definitely slower pace. I know people like live down south and stuff and refer to like San Francisco and stuff in the Bay Area as Northern California, and they're wrong.
No.
There's hours of California north of there.
We call that the Bay Area or / the Yay area, whatever.
Yeah, we wife's families. A lot of them are from like Stockton, Lodi, and stuff, and I refer to that as the Central Valley because that's what it is.
That's the valley.
But they think they're in Northern California. Wife's aunt thought I lived in Oregon for the longest time up here. I'm like, no, still an hour away from Oregon, hour and 45 minutes, give or take, depending on how fast you drive and how the weather is, I guess.
Or the freeway itself, or if there's fires.
Yeah. We were last year. We were in Eugene, a little bit like in October, beginning of October, when all those fires were going on. Taking care of some of my dad's stuff. He had some health issues. I had to go and try to take care of that. And on the way back, if you guys have ever traveled from Oregon to California, there's only a couple ways in. There's like 3 or 4 roads in that are mainstream. There's like the I-5, the 101, and the 199, I think it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's the 199. I could be wrong. But there's a tunnel over. Yeah, there's a tunnel over the 199 with trees on top of it. And the trees were on fire as we were driving underneath the tunnel.
Christ.
And I looked at the CAL FIRE guy. I'm like,
is it
are
safe?
we going to be able to go through there? He's like, yeah, you should be fine. It's just a little fire. The whole state's on fire, dude. What are you talking about? I was just in Springfield. I couldn't breathe oxygen at all.
It's been pretty wild. Honestly, people have not really. I think a lot of people turn a blind eye to it, but we've had quite a bit of wildfires. My niece, Victoria, she works for them. She's a supervisor for CAL FIRE, so she's seen some crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, our Bobby, right? In the bar, he's a CAL FIRE guy too.
Yep.
Yeah, and my dad did forest firefighting and stuff for quite a while as a smoke jumper when I was a kid, and that's a scary situation to be in.
Yeah, I remember one time I was driving through. Had the kids in the car. I'm driving through to go up to Reno to go visit the father-in-law. And we were driving through, and literally the fire was so intense that you could see it jumping over the freeway as we were driving through it, like a big ass fire art.
Jeez. That's
And
not
the Cal
fun.
Fire guys just pointing at us like this, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Don't stop.
I'm just
Tires
like,
will
what
melt.
the hell?
Yeah, the church
wild.
that my wife and I got married in was in Paradise, California. And when that fire hit, it tore that up. It's my friend's church. He's a pastor of it. And that place is gone. I haven't been to Paradise since the fires, but since before the fires, obviously. But they took some damage.
Heart goes out to a lot of those people. There's a lot of families lost a lot of stuff, man.
And the best part is PG&E gets to go, we're going to pay off this lawsuit by charging our customers who we owe money to more money because we didn't do our job.
Yeah. It's a shit show.
You got to love having inside politics. It's ridiculous.
So that's not even a political thing. That's a company that's supposed to run the energy and be responsible for us to be safe.
Yeah, well, they also have a lot of lobbyists, so
Of course.
everything does break down to politics when it comes to any kind of large corporation and inner workings of the government, whether it be conservative or not, or liberal. It doesn't really matter.
Are you talking about paying your way to do what you do?
And they do. That's why they have a basic monopoly in California. Well, at least this part of California. There's other power companies too.
Not very many.
There's 4 or 5. There's one, like Redding has their own, I guess.
Oh.
The town of Shelter Cove, which is a coastal town. Have you been out there yet?
Yeah, I've been there.
They have their own power source for their town.
Oh.
Yeah, so they didn't lose any power this year or last year. Whenever
They have
were
their
doing
own
the
grid,
shutdowns.
so to speak.
Yeah, they have the whole town has generators for all the houses and everything in the businesses, which is freaking cool because that's going to work for until next year when it's illegal to own a generator. In California,
on a small scale, that works, right?
Yeah, and it's a very small
Logically,
town, so
Yeah,
and they also have a lot of money out there, and a lot of poor folk living out in Shelter Cove. Not when there's custom landing strips and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody on welfare that owns a plane.
No, I don't know anybody who doesn't make at least, 200,000 and above even knows how to own a plane.
Yeah, I have a rule about planes.
What's that?
I avoid them. It's not that I'm scared of flying. I don't trust other people.
Well, I think we all have that problem, but I don't know. You got to get where you got to go, man. You got to travel. You got to see things.
I've never had to go anywhere on a plane, so I haven't had to worry about it. No, I've been to 3 states: Oregon, Washington, California. That's it.
No.
I'm not well traveled.
I've been to Florida, Mexico. Those are probably the furthest. Everything else has been within like the longest other distance would be like the Midwest.
Yeah.
I went back to Missouri to go see like my grandparents for their 50th golden year anniversary kind of thing. We had a big party. That was cool. And then sadly went back the last time was so I could go bury my dad, but
Yeah, that's not fun.
Not too fun. But the cool places I've been to, Florida was amazing. Florida's an interesting place.
I've been looking at going to Texas and checking that out, seeing if I want to maybe lay roots there at some point later in my life.
People are you're
I
looking
know
at
that's
cost of living that just
yeah.
Yeah.
The parts I was looking at aren't as bad. Like at first, I was thinking Austin because I really like the artsy culture that they have. Because everyone from California is moving out of California. Urban. Yeah, and I don't want to be totally immersed in that, but I like to have that option. A bunch of my buddies moved to Idaho and they wanted me to go out there, and they're like, "Dude, you're a gun nut. You want to do this?" And I'm like, "I don't even own a gun."
True story though. Jeremy, which you've met, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
His girlfriend went and moved to Idaho for a short period of time, and she's talking about that. She's like, literally, the people there are like everybody's carrying, everybody's packing.
Wait, he has a girlfriend?
Yeah.
He did not strike me as a type that has a girlfriend.
Yeah, well, somebody puts up with him. Aside from my friendship for fucking forever. But
like him, he's a good guy.
Nah,
that's how I met you, buddy.
He's got a good heart inside. He just likes to fuck around a lot.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even know you because he introduced us at the bar.
That's true.
Yeah. See, this is why I try to be friendly with as many people as possible. You'll notice that when I talk to most folks, especially out at the pub, because there's no point in making enemies just to make enemies.
I think the pub is not for that. If you go to a pub to try and figure out who to offend, you're not at the right place.
Dude, I sure
You
as
need to go
shit
home.
thought that I was going to have to drop somebody today, though.
Well,
That guy, one thing about me is I'm really protective of my friends and family, and if I think someone's gonna try to hurt somebody, like I'm gonna fucking step in and do some work.
I mean,
This
it's
is how
been,
it
like,
is.
there's definitely two incidences last week, man, where things just got a little weird.
Yeah, there's been a few
I'm just like, hey, and for as long as I've been here, I have not seen that happen at Sal's.
and it really doesn't.
No.
It doesn't really. There is a few occasions like Mr. Dante had to carry some dude out. Guys,
I
Mr.
remember
Dante
that.
is one of the coaches at Lost Boys. Go check him out. He's a beautiful little man.
That he is.
Stop calling him my boyfriend, kids. It's platonic. Just because we snuggle on the mat once in a while doesn't mean a damn thing. Actually, we've only rolled once, and he just whooped the shit out of me.
I could see him doing that. Isn't he a black belt?
He's about to be.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah. He can.
My only saving grace is I still got hands and feet that I can kick and punch with, and I'm not against a headbutt, hence the hairline.
I mean, you're talking about the difference between defending yourself and, like playing around and having fun.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the things I liked about
competition,
jits.
camaraderie is a different situation versus somebody trying to take you out.
And I tell you, man, even in like karate and taekwondo and stuff like that, when you're getting hit in the face by someone, it's really hard to go, oh yeah, we're homies later. Like it's not an easy thing to. I never had a problem with it for the most part.
Unless
it was a really cheap shot. And then I had issues, but mostly it was I had friends I'd spar with for sure, but it was a very select group of people because in the different places I've studied, I've been all over the place with it, and with various arts and stuff. You always find someone who just wants to. It's like the guy that has to be in front of traffic on the highway, so he has to get past everyone for no fucking reason at all. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You're driving, the guy has to like get past you, even though you're both going to get stuck at the same red light. He just has to be in front.
Waiting at the same fucking place.
Exactly.
Getting to the same place you're both going to at the same time.
And I usually end up passing them because I'm patient. But, every like karate school or, any other striking school I've been to, there's always been somebody like that. And I'm sure it happens in jits too. So, like, I'm pretty new to jiu-jitsu, so.
Competition is fun.
Oh, I love competition, but it has to be friendly competition, not
not
shitty
to
competition.
Cut you down. No. Competition should never be about cutting someone down. It should just be about you wanting to strive to be good, and that's it.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed,
and if it comes to an actual championship, that's a whole other story.
Oh yeah, no. If we're getting in the ring, we're getting in the ring,
right?
Buddy or not. But afterwards, we need to have a beer together,
right?
One thing I really love is watching my my kids, the three that are in there. Two of them are doing jits because they do the Muay Thai thing. All three of them do the Muay Thai thing, or three of them do the Muay Thai thing. Two of them do the jits thing.
Nice.
And watching my kid help out the new students when they're there, because she's new too, but not as new, and so she'll gladly work with them and everybody I've been there, the classes that I've attended, even for me being kind of like dumpy and out of shape, every one of those people in there like is so cool to help you out. And, like they'll walk you through it, even if they know you don't know what you're doing.
I mean, that's how a team works.
Yeah, and that's how it's supposed to work. So that's what I really love about Lost Boys. More shameless plugging for Dante and Mr. Brian. But it's super cool there. But yeah, so. You've had something strange that's happened to you, you said you were alluding to.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to explain it. So, dish, sir, dish.
It was odd. So, here I am. Let's see. I think I was around between 21 to 22 was the span of the time in which it happened.
Okay.
But, and then I just had my beautiful son, like, when I was 22, shortly during that same time span. So I'm not sure. I'm trying to devise if it's between like a subconscious stress or something that was actually going on.
Okay.
So a big thought process to it was that, maybe I'm just really stressed out. But then I had a reoccurrence of like a reoccurring dream. And, we kind of all have reoccurring dreams. Different things happen, and usually it has a lot to do with subconscious behaviors and things that are stressing us out or things that we're thinking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my process on it. But then, the weird part is it was the exact same thing almost every time.
Okay.
Never slept walk in my life.
Oh, I have.
Never ever slept walk in my life. So started having this dream where there is a young girl and long black hair. Not super creepy like the Ring girl, but kind of like that. You know, where you can't really make out the face so much.
Yeah.
But not creepy, pale looking thing. But just long hair, little girl, probably, you know, yay size. And she'd ask me to walk her. And I said, okay, cool, I'll get up, I'll walk you. In my dream, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I'll walk you. Get up, take the girl's hand. And in my mind, we're just going for a walk somewhere. But every time I would get to a point to where I would wake up, and I would wake up outside the bottom of the stairs in my house. Now, at this apartment, these are big stairs. So for me to make it down the stairs, the only thing that was trivial to me is I made it down the stairs either A, entirely subconsciously, or B, I was being guided.
Interesting. So you physically were down the stairs?
Yeah, I was outside.
Having no history of sleepwalking prior to that?
No. And it happened for a year, and then it stopped.
Was there... Well, what was the place like that you lived in the apartment or anything? Did you ever look into that and see if there was anything connected to there?
No,
any
I didn't.
Stories or anything?
But I know it's an older place.
You talk to any of the neighbors at all?
No, I didn't, you know.
It can be, yeah, I don't know, man. That's, if you're not used to sleepwalking, like for me, like I've had sleep issues, I've had sleep paralysis, I've sleptwalked, stuff like that. It's usually, for me, it's based on stress.
Right.
Big time. I haven't had any of those problems in a long time, but...
Yeah.
I mean, it's really awkward. You get up and pee on somebody, and you don't know you're doing it. She was not a happy camper.
No, I don't think anybody would be.
Normally, you got to pay extra for that. I
Right.
just took it for free. That was embarrassing to wake up to.
Yeah.
It didn't happen very often. That was a whiskey night.
Wow.
There was a lot of whiskey that night.
Paralysis.
No, that was sleepwalking.
Paralysis.
Oh, God. That should be the title of the show, Sleep Paralysis.
Yeah.
So did anything ever come of that aside from just the reoccurrence of it?
No, I kind of just let it go.
How often were you having the dreams? Like every night or?
I would say like every week.
Oh, like once a week kind of thing?
Yeah,
or?
Not every night.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for you on that one.
It was weird,
I have a
man.
dream book here somewhere.
It was weird. No, I kind of read up on it, and you know, ideally it says that, you know, has to be for you to go from never sleepwalking or having any kind of weird sleep issues, other than like I have kind of like a normal insomnia kind of thing.
Oh, me too.
But that's been going on forever.
Yeah, I'm one of those short sleep guys.
Yeah, I'm a 5 to 6 hour person. But
I'm lucky if I do that.
I mean,
like I'm like a 3 hour person, like maybe 4.
Balanced enough to understand now that I need to make myself sleepy, and the only way I can do that is by exhausting myself.
Yeah, that doesn't help me either.
Yeah.
So. Some days I'll crash though. I'll crash fucking hard.
Yeah.
But I know not to sleep on my back. Well, that's how I figured out what was causing my night terrors and the sleep paralysis.
Oh, okay.
Sleeping on my back. I was slipping in and out of the hypnagogic, hypnopompic stages, but my body was basically going, "Hey, you're gonna die because you're not breathing well, dumbass. Turn over." And so now I tend to lay on my side or my stomach.
Sleep paralysis is a weird thing. My buddy told me about it.
It's creepy as shit.
He was having it for a while. He says sometimes he sees things and sometimes he doesn't.
No, I always saw stuff.
It's just so weird.
The last one was gray aliens walked through my wall.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, I'm saying this is a sleep paralysis thing, not the gray aliens walked through my wall. I've told you guys I don't believe in aliens necessarily. I don't disagree with them. I just don't think they're there. In the Faraday paradox, I've talked about it. Look it up. So, no, I'm not saying they're not, but I don't think it was aliens that visited me, guys. Okay,
Right, yeah.
I'll save the tinfoil hat for my buddy Tom Vlasis over at the Paranormal Patriot. That's more his thing.
Is there a possibility of an alien? Yes.
That
of
course.
Means there's another life
it's
form.
highly
living.
likely. I mean, we think octopuses are possibly of alien
Technically,
origin.
anything that's not on this planet that is a life form is an alien.
Yeah, exactly. And
regardless of its form.
You know, like Fairman was this mathematician. I don't ask me to explain the math. He did math behind it, and I don't math. I just don't. It's not a Jason thing to do. I punch things with my hands sometimes, and occasionally cut things with wood or from wood, not into wood. I don't cut things with wood.
It's not how math works.
I know that's the stuff that I'm good at. Like I fucking fake it when I'm playing music on Tuesday nights at the fucking bar. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, God, people think so much of me, and it's so not there. Anyway, so I'm having this episode of sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
These gray aliens walk through my wall, past my gun safe, which really pissed me off because I couldn't get to it. It's probably better that I couldn't get to it at the state
Yeah.
of function. But I started actually being able to break the sleep paralysis and fight back. And it was the funniest thing. Because I stopped being scared because one of the aliens was like, this one's trying to fucking fight, let's go. And they left the way they came, which is really odd. Yeah.
I mean, that just kind of spells that it was subconscious.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, every sleep paralysis episode I had was exactly the same, except for that point. Can't talk afterwards. I wake up, I can't speak.
Yeah, you can't talk during sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
It's like a complete...
I can't talk for like minutes afterwards.
Your brain's on, but your body's off.
Yeah, well, even after I get my my cognizant, my body cognizance back, I can't talk for like 2 or 3 minutes after an event. And it's really strange. I've seen a lot of strange things, guys. I'm not saying that everything isn't real. I'm just saying I'm very skeptical.
Yeah, you should be.
I have to clarify that every time I talk about this. I get so much hate for that.
No, I'm extremely skeptical too.
Skeptical. So, what are your thoughts on Bigfoot, being that we are here in the north coast of California?
True, it's very popular here.
Not just here, but yeah, it is.
It is. I mean, they have that whole exhibit down there when you're traveling through the
Richardson Grove, yeah.
Richardson Grove and all that, which is beautiful. I love that fucking area.
Oh, yeah, it's nice. Well, it's nice up until the point where there's a semi passing you on the one lane next to the sequoia trees, and then you're like, butt pucker.
Your butthole gets super tight. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm good.
I feel like I just got donkey punched by the universe.
Right. But yeah, I haven't read into a lot of it. I've seen, things on TV as others would. What's kind of funny about the whole Bigfoot thing to me, and just kind of trying to figure it out is. Some areas it's spread out, right? Like it's big here. There's also other areas in like Canada or other areas in northern United States where it's a big thing.
Yeah, and like Texas has a lot of sightings apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Ohio has a Bigfoot conference they do every year. Florida has the swamp ape. There was there's
a lot of strange things happening in Florida, and it's not just.
There was actually a really good picture of the supposed swamp ape that a gal took, and people have tried to debunk it, and they can't. And it's one of the only ones, because I lived here for a very long time. Yeah. I've been out in the woods all over this place.
Yeah,
I've been out to Bluff Creek where Patterson Gimlin did their fraudulent footage.
Right.
Sorry, Ken Gerhard, don't hate me. I still think it's fake. But I know hunters that have never seen anything. My aunts, one of my aunts. Late husbands, they're both late now. They never show up on time because they died. I'm a horrible person. You should know what kind of person I am. You've been hanging out with me enough. Rest in peace. Anyway, so he was like this big woodsy guy, I guess, and he was like, oh, it's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And I guess they went camping, and he walked off into the woods and came back just bleach white and wouldn't talk to anybody for a long time about it.
I wonder what the heck he saw.
He said he saw Bigfoot.
Is that what he said he
saw?
He
said he chested into Bigfoot. Like, how you walk into somebody accidentally taller than you?
Yeah.
And not that you have that problem. You're like fucking, you're built like an Adonis.
I'm only 6'2".
You're more than 6'2" because I'm 6'2", and you're taller than me. Of course, we're always wearing shoes when we're standing next to each other. That might be why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess that changes my. And then for me, it was like I've been out in the woods. I've been hunting. I've been out in that area. I've been trying to get out to Peak 8 forever, which is like this a really strange area on the federal land. And I've never seen anything to give me any kind of inclination that Bigfoot is real. But I've heard there's a guy I know that kind of made me question myself and go, okay, I gotta reel this back, because if this guy believes in Bigfoot, I should probably consider it a possibility. And he's an avid hunter, and he's the kind of guy that doesn't believe in shit. At all. And he's like, no, they're fucking real. He's like, I've encountered them. They're fucking real. I'm like, all right. I thought he was fucking with me. I'm like, dude, you're fucking with me. He's like, no, I'm dead serious. I've fucking seen him.
Here's the thing, and I understand there's a lot of forest in this area. So
oh, yeah.
The perception that something could hide way away from everything and could avoid civilization.
Out here, it's totally possible. Dude, you can travel just in the woods from here all the way to Alaska.
Yeah.
And have to cross very little roads. And they could be subterranean.
That means it would have to be very intelligent. It would have to have the intelligence of knowing territories and spaces to not cross over to be undiscovered.
Well, look at like elephants. They have like secret burial grounds. They all know where they're at.
Yeah.
And they go in there and they die. And then there's, I don't know if that's actually true. I've just heard that forever.
Well, you're talking about like sense and understanding.
Yeah.
Well, obviously elephants have a very good memory.
Yeah. I've heard that. Have you ever ridden an elephant?
No.
I did once.
No.
It was quite cool.
Huh.
Did you know that you can pay money in, I want to say Burma or Thailand, to kill an elephant with a bazooka?
I heard about that.
I do not suggest doing that.
No, that's fucked
Elephants are pretty dope, and they're really nice creatures until you piss them off.
Right. You don't
Nothing like a pissed off pachyderm.
Those things will they'll trample whatever's in the way.
Oh yeah. That's what pisses me off. Like, wife will be like, "Hey, let's take the kids to the zoo," and I fucking hate zoos.
You do?
Oh, I hate them. I hate zoos, except for like when they're trying to rejuvenate a species.
An animal who is in the zoo who is obviously and apparently sad.
Well, it's like, okay, so I'm not, and anyone that's listened to the show for more than 5 fucking days knows that or 5 episodes knows I'm not an environmentalist. I like to hunt. I like to shoot things. I do care about my environment because of those things. You know, I like to fish. I have to care about the environment for that. But what I fucking hate is when people misappropriate animals and treat them like total shit. I just can't handle it. It bugs the hell out of me.
Yeah. No, there's a point where it's like, hey, dance, pony, dance, and that's not okay. Like,
yeah, you have to have a balance.
You're torturing it.
Yeah, and it's
you're creating a show for monetization.
Exactly. That said, a lot of zoos have done a really good job.
Why circus animals don't exist very much anymore.
Oh yeah, well they're in the Everglades.
Right? Yeah, probably.
From those train wrecks from the Ringling Brothers that fell over. That did happen quite a bit, apparently.
Did it really?
That's what I've heard.
Never heard of that.
There's a lot of non-native species that escaped from circuses, or like a train would tip or something, and they'd escape from traveling circuses. Oh. I don't know how much of that's true. I know that there's a lot of species that are not native to this part of this part of America, North America, that are Central American or South American.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who bring animals in when they're not supposed to.
and up in the North Coast, we have a big problem with that, especially with fish. Like we have a fish in our river, in one of the rivers. I want to say at least one, the Trinity River, because the Eel River, sorry, because we used to have eels in that river. And I guess they're finally coming back. We had eels, and there was steelies, and all sorts of great, like, awesome, like, ocean to river fish.
Right.
And somebody decided it was a good idea to let pike minnows loose. And so pike minnows eat salmon egg and trout egg.
Oh, wow.
And pike minnows are not good for eating. I know people that have done it, but they're super fucking bony.
Any pike fish is not good for eating.
Some pike is okay.
Really?
These are like, they're salmonoid style. They're like, they look like little trout.
I never caught one,
but
so
they're super bony is the problem.
Oh, okay.
And actually, you're supposed to catch them and just kill them, because they're not supposed to be here, and they've wiped out populations of fish for a long time. It's taken a long time to try to get the native fish back into the river.
I mean, I know that it still is a big industry up here.
Oh yeah,
for all the locals.
Oh yeah, well, fishing is fun. Have you gone fishing?
I haven't gone anything out on a boat yet over here, so I've gone.
I haven't for a while.
I went to Trinity with my son, and I went to the little lakes next to the ocean up north.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the lagoon.
Yeah, lagoon, big lagoon, little lagoon. Oh
yeah.
Those. Yeah, I've done those.
I like to fish freshwater lagoon.
Cool.
They actually stock that one with trout.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they stock rainbows in there, and then you can also get bass in the back if you have a boat.
Are they big mouth?
Small. I think they're smallies, but
right.
You don't really need a big mouth bass here when you can get a smallmouth bass out of the lagoon that you caught.
It's true.
So, but I can fish right down the street from the house in the bay or in the slough.
Yeah, you can.
I wouldn't eat anything out of the bay, but I would out of the slough is fine. I've caught some perch out there, and
I heard a good spot out here is to go out to the jetty.
Yeah, if you want to get dead.
Really?
Well, okay, so you always see people. So, folks that don't know, we live next to a very dangerous part of the Pacific Ocean. It is known for just killing the hell out of people.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There was one year, a family they were at Big Lagoon, and their dog ran in, and then the son ran in after the dog because the dog couldn't get out. And then the dad and the mom ran in after the son, and all of them drowned except for the daughter.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was like my senior year of high school. It was horrifying.
What the hell did they hit? Like a sinkhole?
No, it's just a really bad drag.
Just pulled them under.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Riptides, and you don't see the ones out here, and it drops fast. Like the shelf.
Big Lagoon doesn't look like that, but I guess it has a
not
deep
on
shelf.
not on the inside. The inside's fine.
No.
Because the inside the water crashes over sometimes, but the ocean side of Big Lagoon, you're not supposed to even like get in the water at all.
Oh, this is that dangerous.
Yeah, it'll suck a grown man out 2 miles without a problem. It's freaking gnarly, dude.
That is gnarly.
And my mom used to let us fucking play in that.
Sure, go play.
Throw mom under the bus because I know she watches this show.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so wow, that was a rabbit trail like always. So going back to the Bigfoot thing, I mean, I do still plan on doing a Bigfoot expedition.
Okay.
That's the word. And if you want to come, you're definitely welcome. It'll be fun. It'll be a weekend camping trip and a lot of hiking.
Yeah.
You seem like you have no problem hiking.
No, I don't.
Yeah, good, because I don't either. And
I've already done a few hikes out here, just the famous shit so far. So.
Oh yeah, no, this won't be famous. This will be.
That's okay.
This will be deep wood. This will be deep wood. Like you'll want like a single person tent. I'm gonna try to bring some trail cams.
I got the best tent ever.
Yeah.
It sets up in 5 minutes. So you literally just pull it from the top.
But how heavy is it to carry?
It's pretty light.
Because when you're talking about a whole day hike in and out, it gets kind of heavy fast.
Yeah.
I'll probably just build a shelter.
You're just gonna get some sticks and put it together.
No, kind of. Have you ever built a survival shelter?
You're gonna bring like a tarp or overhang?
No, we're gonna be under the canopy of the trees.
Well, yeah.
You'll get a little wet, but mostly moisture from the ground. But I'm gonna do like a lifted bed area. If I do it, I might just bring a tent. I don't know.
I'm cool. I'll just carry my tent.
It depends on.
I'm
I'm carrying my rifle. That's for damn sure, and not for Bigfoot either. Because we're going out. There's mountain lions and stuff.
My gun's down in the Bay Area.
I might have an extra you can carry. Okay. I don't own any guns though. Pew pews aren't legal in California.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Not easily.
No. Yeah,
the only reason I'd carry it, guys, I'm not looking to shoot a Bigfoot. Those guys that do that are
you need defense in the wilderness.
And not to mention all the illegal pot grows out there.
Well, you got that. You run into a bear.
A bear.
You were the bear at that point.
Out here, the bears are going to leave you alone. It's the mountain lions that look at you. The bears will just tell you to fuck off and run away. They're kind of lame.
Timid.
I've run into a few of them, and they're not bad as long as you're loud and they don't have a cub with them. They're usually fine. The mountain lions though, they'll fucking take you out of your tent.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know if they've ever actually done that. Well, on one of our regular hiking trails, a mountain lion a couple years back attacked an old couple, and the old lady beat the shit out of the thing till it let go of her husband. Saved his life.
We had one happen in the Bay Area, and they got away, but they got
them?
wounded pretty bad.
Have you ever seen a mountain lion in person?
Yeah.
That is an intimidating pussy.
It is. It is.
Also, be a great name for a chick punk band.
Intimidating pussy?
Yeah,
that would work.
Those fuckers are scary. I've been stalked by them twice that I know of. Once actually in the middle of Arcata, the town north of here.
Really?
For those who are listening. Yeah, there's like a little park.
I've seen them before, but nothing ever tried to approach me.
Oh, I could hear it coming. It was in the trees, and I just happened to be paying attention. But we used to go in the woods a lot as a kid with my dad and go like survival camping and shit. So I learned a bunch of tracking techniques and to know when and we used to go camping at the Cougar Reservoir. In Oregon. It's in Oregon. They call it the Cougar Reservoir for a reason. It's not because there's a bunch of old horny chicks at the bar either.
Nope.
No.
I doubt it.
Still aggressive pussy either way.
It's an abundance of it.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on like paranormal shows? You watch any of those things?
Yeah, long time I watched obviously like Ghost Adventures is a popular one.
Could you just get the mic a little closer to your mouth?
Yeah.
Didn't want to hear your
Ghost Adventures is
voice.
like a popular one. Watched a lot of that. There's only been a couple episodes where it's like, okay, that's kind of out there. I'd like to really see the close-up footage of that versus the TV version and see what the hell it really was.
Yeah, definitely.
There's some weird stuff happening in that show, and there is a lot of ways to recreate situations that they're running into, I guess. But there's also a lot of evidence out there substantiating that a lot of people run into the same kind of things, like disembodied voices and stuff like that. Now, I've never experienced a disembodied voice. I would love to experience it. I think for me, I'm not a person who's like, oh no, I don't want to fuck with that stuff. It's all demon stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
I would rather actually see it. I think that would be an exhilarating thing to happen in life.
If it's not demonic, yeah, that's great.
I
I
mean,
know a place that we can probably take you to get some kind of encounter for sure.
I would love
And
to.
I'm not, and I get shit for this too. I don't really believe in human ghosts floating around the earth, guys. I don't. I don't have any evidence to suggest that's the case. I think there's other spiritual beings. I've clarified that,
Yeah.
and definitely different energies. And I do think people leave energies
Energy
behind.
is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we were at one of our sponsors, Manitoba's 2 Street Music in Eureka, California. Go check them out again. But we did a ghost hunt there live
Nice.
because they are apparently haunted. And Anthony, one of the store owners, because his brothers that own it, he and I were there standing in the room is separated. The way the shop is separated is there's different like rooms for the different departments of musical instruments.
Yeah.
So there's like the piano room in the middle. So the front of the store has like your patch cables, microphones, guitars, amplifiers. The next room over from that, separated by an open doorway, has bass and then acoustic guitars, stuff like that. But behind the main room, like smack dab in the middle of the store, there's recording studios, like little, so they can do guitar lessons and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then there's the piano area, and then
Okay.
there's another room in the back with the keyboards.
Okay.
So the PAs and the pianos are all like one area. Well, Anthony and I were standing near the acoustic guitars, just off from the piano room, and I have one of those ghost boxes, the radio that cycles.
It makes, static noise.
Yeah. And we were running that, and nothing was happening. And then my brother, he was there, and we were live streaming it and recording it. But Anthony and I were standing back a ways in the next room, so the acoustics were different from what he could hear versus what we could hear.
Huh.
And he started talking and asking questions, and Anthony and I both heard that my brother didn't hear this really deep, creepy voice saying something we couldn't make out that wasn't like cycling through a radio. It was a voice coming from that ghost box, but my brother couldn't hear it at all. But we both looked at each other, and I didn't want to say anything. He didn't want to say anything, so we were trying to see if we both heard it, and that was fucking creepy.
That's creepy.
So you might be able to
But I
find
think that's
something there.
cool.
It was cool. I just didn't know what the fuck it was.
That's okay. I think it's cool. I think we we put all these creepy ghost stories like something's gonna happen to you, and in my experience in life, if you don't reach out, you don't get to have the fun experiences. So I think putting yourself in a situation that makes you feel uneasy is where you're gonna discover.
Dude, I will take you
lot
on a
of
ghost
things.
hunt anytime. We will figure
do
something
it.
out.
I would love to
We'll
do
go
it.
and play with the ghost hunting toys at the cemetery one of these days if you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
There's a
I went-
haunted. There's supposed to be a haunted river spot
I
over
went to-
past Neeland.
I went to that hotel, the one, is it the Coronado? The one down below San Francisco? Hotel Coronado, I think.
Sure. I know there's one in San Francisco that had the chick Lisa Lamb got herself killed.
Yeah. No, I did that, and I did some ghost tours, but those aren't the same as being in a pitch black room and waiting for something to happen.
I do know the name of the Coronado, though. That does sound familiar.
Yeah.
No, and this is like, we were there for a few hours. A couple of our friends showed up. We walked around. There was a couple weird things that happened, audibly for sure.
Okay.
I walked away from my computer, and I was running the camera, and as I walked away, and I checked it out later when I posted it, or reposted it, and went to, because I don't do a lot of editing, but I repost things on different formats or different sites.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And as I walked away, just where I was at, everything started pixelating when I stopped. So it wasn't like I was moving and the camera was trying to catch up. It just, everything started to pixelate, and I blotted out, and something looked like it moved with the pixels behind me.
Oh, so it looked
And
like
that could have just
like
been
a shadowing going somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it was like an orb type deal either. It was just about my size, maybe a little smaller at the end, or bigger, and moved, and
Just passed.
yeah. So it could have just been an artifact of the camera. I don't know, but
Yeah, technology is
strange.
weird like that. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, that's why like video evidence is like the weakest evidence on the fucking planet.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
Right next to eyewitness testimony.
yeah, you gotta look at like technology is not exactly as reliable as we all say it is.
Well, if you look at any of those guys that do like the TikTok videos and stuff, and
Yeah.
all that, it's kind of crazy. You can digitally render all sorts of shit.
You could.
So,
and you could do it in such a way that's subtle enough to where it seems almost believable.
yeah. Did you see that? How was it? Department of Defense, I think, came out and warned, or maybe it was the Space Force came out and warned that China has a ship that can stop mid-flight, dead in the air.
I believe it.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah. No, I 100% believe something like that, because then you're just talking about a propulsion system that has a great amount of control.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, and that's
however whatever that technology is that develops that, that's something they've probably been working on forever.
the crazy thing is the way they described it. Like I had one UFO sighting in my life.
Okay.
And again, guys, I'm not huge on the alien thing, and I don't think it was China that I saw, but I don't know. So my dad was an Army guy. He and I were going out to that Cougar Reservoir area, camping one summer. We went out there as much as possible, and it was out by the Three Sisters Mountains, I guess. I can't remember. I was really young when this happened, but I remember I was eating peanut M&Ms. My brother Jesse was in the back of the station wagon asleep, and I looked up and I saw 3 lights in the shape of a triangle, and it looked like they were kind of connected, but I couldn't tell. And then I realized that if you have astigmatism, you see like that starry light thing when you drive, and not everyone sees that. So I'm different. Yeah. So that's probably what that was. It made it look like it was interconnected. But I was looking at it. My dad noticed it too. And I'm like, Dad, what is that? And he's like, it was a starry night, but this was like pretty, like this was obviously not stars. Yeah. They were very bright lights. There's 3 of them. And they were like equidistant from each other, so it was like a perfect triangle, I guess. I mean, I would, as a kid, I would, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
My dad was like, I don't know what the hell that is. And then all 3 lights at some point just went in every different direction instantly. Just boom, gone. So that's my one UFO sighting. And I when I say UFO, I mean unidentified flying object.
Right,
I don't
doesn't
know what
mean
the fuck
it's
it
aliens.
was.
It just means that it's a something you saw flying and you don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it wasn't, guys. Don't get too bent out of shape. Every time I say I'm skeptical about something, people get mad at me. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying I haven't seen it myself.
You have to prove it though too. It's a thing. You don't want to say something if you don't have a definition.
Well, yeah, and like I've seen some crazy shit, so I'm not just piss pawn on everybody. I mean, if they listen to the show, they've known that I've talked about like my days as a minister. I saw some really, really, really crazy stuff doing that.
Yeah.
I've seen people that I believe 100% were demonic possessed. They acted exactly like they would.
Something was off.
No. When they're puking black bile out on the floor of the church while
fuck?
speaking in weird languages, it's usually not a good
it's
sign.
fucking crazy.
They didn't do the Linda Blair headspin thing, but that would have been so cool. And they would have been very bendy. Yeah, it wasn't quite like that. There was a church I used to be involved in, and I actually lived in the church house. This is like shortly after I finished Bible college and was getting involved in the ministry more heavily that I no longer am involved in. But you would hear your name called like over music by a really horrible voice, and you were just like, okay, something bad's happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have dreams of horrible shit and wake up, but my eyes would be still closed, and something inside said, don't open your eyes.
That's fucking crazy.
Like my instinct said, don't open your eyes when I woke up. And which you'd think would be the opposite instinct of waking up to wanting to defend yourself. But there was definitely a dark presence there. Yeah, when we moved in, I guess the church had been open, the building, we had moved buildings, and that one had been open for years. It had been like empty.
Wow.
Yeah, and there was like candle circles over where the baptismal area is behind the pulpit, behind the stage.
Yeah.
And no matter how hard we tried, it looked like there was blood and candle wax we could not get rid of. We painted over it. It would seep through. We tried to sand it off. It would seep back in and show up again. So it was very, very strange.
Have you seen that really crazy video of this guy who breaks into an abandoned chapel? It's like all boarded up, but he finds a way to get in through like the basement area and climbs in, and he goes in there, and everything that's set up inside, it looks like a cult had been there and had been doing like demonic ritual, and he's sitting there. I haven't seen that. No. Shoot, I gotta find that. He's sitting there, and he's he's talking. about it. He's like, I've been here before.
I put it off camera because we're not allowed to have this on certain places.
And I put it. He said, I put a camera here, and I left for a while, and then stuff started moving. So then he goes back to go investigate, and when he went back to investigate, whole entire board goes flying. Doesn't look like there's anything attached.
I haven't seen that. I'm going to have to check that out.
And then a chair, he starts to talk and say, hey, leave me alone. I'm just here to see what's going on and seeing who you are and what you're doing. And then the chair starts to push towards him.
That's not creepy at all.
Yeah.
Move along, people. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, it was a trip. It's a pretty convincing video. You probably could find it on YouTube. I think I ran across it on... It's got to be like Instagram or on stories or on or possibly TikTok. I forget, but
I really need to work on my Instagram. I haven't used it ever, and I need to put that up.
It's my favorite one.
I don't have any idea how to use it. I know there was a girl that was like, "Hey, do you have Snapchat?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Oh, that's too bad." And I'm like, "Probably not." I know where that's going.
Snapchat's boring.
No, I think the point
it's probably
was
going to go into her Cash App.
I think she wanted me to send her booby pictures to me, and I wasn't feeling it because it didn't look like they'd be impressive boobies.
Well, hey.
Finicky boob guy, I don't know. Not really. As long as they're there.
As long as they're not shaped like a sad teardrop.
Some of those are all right.
Well, it depends on how far they're drooping down.
On how it works. I mean, if it's a dude's tits, I don't want to see it. Moobs.
That's way more than a sad teardrop.
Moobs.
Yeah.
Sad teardrop.
What's worse is a girl who has moobs.
Oh.
How does that work?
Usually on the back. Oh, God, we're going to make some people mad.
Just kidding.
We're not trying to fat shame. We love every size.
No. We're just talking about things that disturb us.
Yeah. It's a paranormal podcast. So now your thoughts on ghosts, okay? And now what about your thoughts on cryptids aside from Bigfoot?
Oh, like creatures that we haven't discovered. Well, creatures we haven't discovered, I think, could be possible in. Again, it's gonna be in extremely recluse areas, just like I'm talking about with like the whole Bigfoot thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're not talking about like, I'm not really too convinced on something like a Loch Ness monster living in a lake. That wouldn't make sense.
Well, in some lakes, maybe.
Could there be a species that lives in the deep pocket of the ocean that we've never fucking seen before?
Oh, I'm betting on the Meg.
Yeah, or just some crazy looking creature that lives so far. I mean, you got to imagine that whatever lives down there, if it is a living being down there, whatever that is going to be very different, very alien.
Some of the shit we find down there just generally is gnarly because we haven't explored hardly any of the ocean floor.
Well, you can't. That goes down so far. Yeah. Like some of the areas, they say that almost goes to close to the core of the planet. You're talking about a depth that we have no ability to travel to.
Well, yet. We're getting there. They're doing more and more, especially with like submersibles that are like remote control.
Robots, yeah.
Yeah, robots and stuff like that. It's getting a lot better. I mean, we now know the giant squid is a real thing.
Yep.
We have those actually live on video, close to an oil rig or something.
They're massive.
China or something?
Massive.
South Sea. Yeah. They're freaking, we thought that wasn't even a real kind of thing.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff they pulled out, like that frill shark they found years back.
That thing was crazy looking.
We thought the coelacanth was extinct because, people didn't ever go to, apparently, Madagascar and go to fish markets. Science!
Yeah.
Leading the way. But, yeah, I mean, pardon me one moment.
Yeah, I mean, so can a creature, a cryptid is essentially just a creature that, there's some myth built around it, but it's something we just don't know about yet.
Or maybe exist. Made up. We're not sure.
In cases like a creature walking around, in a city that hasn't been seen in a million years, and all of a sudden it's walking there, the odds of that, it's probably fake.
Yeah, and that said, though, with the forest fires and things and deforestation or whatever, and the way we encroach on other, like 20 years ago, seeing a mountain lion down the street from my house wasn't realistic.
Right.
And then, as of 5 years ago, there was a mountain lion down at the school down the street from my house, walking around midday. You never know. But
Well,
we thought gorillas weren't real for fucking ever. We thought that was a myth, and then we found them, and that was in recent history. Same with pandas.
Pandas, yeah. I mean, well, I think it was more along the lines of like the big gorillas, like a silverback gorilla, and then you had to get pretty deep in.
Yeah, you had to go into the Congolese
into
jungle.
the Congo and stuff like that in order to see something like that.
I don't think it's called the Congo anymore. I think they changed the name of it.
To what?
I don't remember. I could be backwards on that. Maybe it was something else, and now it's the Congo.
And even that jungle's, it's starting to dwindle.
Yeah, and that's
to die.
That's one of the things. Like it gets me out here. We used to have a booming lumber industry in Northern California, and the lumber companies replanted the trees that they cut down, so we would still have forests because they would have gone out of business otherwise. But now, people are like, yeah, well, these wildfires. It's because you have a bunch of dead fuel standing there in the fucking forest that we would have caught out. Yeah. And it's those trees, when they get old and dry, they're tinders. It burns real fast.
Well, yeah, and that's an interesting story because you look at other states that also have extremely large forests, like California, and they're not undergoing the same problems we're having, right? And there could be
logging industry too. So
true. There could be multiple factors to the reason as to why a place like, I don't know, Arizona's northern area is like one of the largest forests around.
Is it really?
It's really large.
I don't know anything about Arizona.
Colorado.
I know it's hot.
Colorado's got a lot of forest. It doesn't catch on fire and burn down every year.
Yeah. Well, they also have a heavy timber industry too.
I know.
Or at least a functional one.
At least something going on, yeah.
Yeah, but out here
well,
we had
you're
people
talking about
camping in
deforestation for certain things and, clearing the forest bed.
Yeah.
The forest bed matters.
Well, it's like the one thing about living in Eureka, we don't get as affected by the wildfires as everybody else does, on this part of the North Coast, because we are towards the ocean. We live in a very wet climate. It's moister than an oyster. Really just because I know that grossed out at least 2 people right now.
Yeah, the word moist.
Moist.
No, it really is, though. Like, my first time being here, the fog rolling in and all that, the fog is actually wet.
Yeah, it'll get you wet.
The fog is fucking wet.
You will get wet walking in the fog.
Like,
you will get a layer of wetness on you.
Yeah,
it's just
weird.
super humid.
It's its own climate here.
It is. It's very
a little
strange.
pocket.
And have you gotten to see a rain curtain yet? Okay,
That's
so it's when you can watch the wall of rain come at you while you're standing on dry land, and it eventually just gets to you, or you can walk in and out of it.
That's cool. That would be fun.
It happens. It happens a lot. You just have to notice it.
Huh.
But what happens is we have the mountains all around us, so it's like a bowl, and the pressure systems change, and then with the ocean literally right there,
right here, yeah.
we get this pressure curtain and the moisture barrier, and then you can actually watch the rain approach you, and you can run in and out of it sometimes.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, until the lightning hits you, because it's usually the next thing that happens.
Well, humidity and
we have a good amount of lightning. We haven't the last few years though.
There was a little bit when I first got here.
Yeah, it
was raining when I first got here.
I used to walk to school every day when I was in high school and junior high, rain or shine, and I stopped carrying an umbrella early on because I saw that lightning getting real fucking close, and I was like, I know how this ends. I paid some attention in the science class. Not a lot.
The wildest thing that happened to me weather-wise is, so I'm from Missouri. Born there, then moved here when I was 8 years old. But I was actually at a tornado at a carnival.
Ugh.
Like a friggin' disaster movie thing happening. So we're my mom and everybody, we were at this carnival in Missouri. This is my little town where we're from, West Plains. And they had it at the shopping center always. And we're there, and this thing, tornadoes, let me tell you, the movies, they get it kind of close. They're pretty fucking scary. They're scary.
We get tornadoes here. Most people don't realize that.
Oh, really? I've never seen
water funnels, mostly. It comes just off the ocean.
Oh, a little water funnel. Yeah, I've seen that before.
No, we get big water funnels. You have to be paying attention to it. We actually, I want to say I was 21. I was working at this coffee shop. And I was also doing some construction on the side for the church that I was part of, because the guy had a construction company, the pastor.
Gotcha.
And a tornado came through and actually ripped roof tiles off of shingles off of Rio Dell, Fortuna, and Scotia. Not a ton of them, but it was small enough where it wasn't super noticeable to everybody, but it took a path, and it went a long fucking way, that one little twister, and yanked some fucking roof tiles off. We were busy doing roofs out here.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see that one, but I've seen water funnels for sure.
It's pretty crazy.
Little will-o'-the-wisps. Those are tiny.
Oh yeah, that's
like
not. But an actual
3 foot
tornado
tall.
is insane.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
It's insane.
Although I'm talking about going to Texas.
Yeah, you are. You're going.
Going back to where my mom's family's from.
Okay.
Texas and Oklahoma. Tornado Alley, yay!
Pretty much, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go and visit and decide if I want to be there. It just feels like God still pays attention there. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if not just for a better quality of life in terms of cost of living.
Oh,
I mean,
dude.
that's part of the reason why I moved out of the Bay Area up to here is like,
God, yeah.
I'm tired of like literally just shelling out paycheck to paycheck just to be able to live my daily life. Like, it's ridiculous.
What was it, like $3,000 for a room in an apartment? Not even an apartment? Like, that's ridiculous. Why would you want to do that?
There's people renting $5,000 apartments that are like, 800 square feet. It's like, what are you doing?
I can't live like that. I'm too tall.
Right?
It's like I don't go spelunking because I'm too tall and I don't fit in small spaces well.
You see, those are the kinds of things where it's like, okay, it's kind of getting out of hand. Like, I hate to impose any rules on people. I'm pretty, like, don't care about lots of rules. I kind of like
freedom
feel like,
is freedom.
Let me live my life, and if I want to charge $1 billion for something, let me charge it. But,
mostly, I'm cool with that. Yeah,
but
mostly.
there is a point in time where like you live in such a congested area, and everybody's trying to just get by, and where we should be compassionate as humans.
Oh, 100%.
And let the greed go away a little bit. And,
at some point, not being cunty is a good idea.
Right. I believe so too. So. It's pretty wild, though. Yeah, I got out of there because that's part of the reason why I moved up here. I was jumping at the opportunity to figure out how to get to northern California or just Oregon or something that was further north. I wanted to be out of there because of that.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, too. Like, I loved going down there and hanging out.
Sure.
There's this really nice pub in San Francisco that I liked. I don't know if it's still there. Been a few years. Fiddler's Green. Mm-hmm. I really loved that place. Nice little Irish pub.
I've been there.
Yeah, my anniversary is the same week as St. Patty's Day, so
nice.
We'd always go down. When we went down, we'd like during that week, we'd take a few days off. I never got there for St. Patty's Day. I missed a parade one year by an hour. I would have thought it would have gone on longer, like the one in Portland. It goes on forever, at least in my memory. Probably not now. Not now with the coofs.
Sure, you weren't too drunk?
Oh, dude. I wasn't. I had to drive, but I don't get super soused if I'm driving. It's just not a good idea.
A terrible idea.
Yeah. That said, I almost got in a fight with a couple Irish bar bouncers. It was really funny.
Sounds like a very Irish thing to do.
It wasn't on purpose. It was one of them was being a total McGinty asshole.
Oh, okay.
And guys, for the record, in case you think I'm being rude against the Irish people, my dad's mom was born on the boat. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Look at my fucking face if you're watching the video. I'm Irish as fuck for an American. And the guys were like removing this dude from the bar, and I had been a bouncer for a long time at this point, a bartender and stuff, and I was just like, there's a way to do the job and a way not to. We've all had those fucking dumbass moments when we've worked that job where you just want to hit somebody in the fucking head.
Yeah, you lose your patience, yeah.
Yeah, but this old guy was just not even causing an issue so much as he was staggering out, and one of the bouncers was already in a bad mood and like clocked him, and the other guy had to grab him, and I stepped in for a second, and the other guy's like, I got him, he's wrong, I got him. I'm like, okay. You have a wonderful night, gentlemen. Fighting one guy's fine. Fighting two guys, that would have been fine too, actually.
Yeah.
Not now.
No.
Back then, it would have been fine. Yeah, it would have been fine. It wouldn't have ended well. I'd probably be in handcuffs, and it would have really ruined the trip.
It's hard being a bouncer. Me doing that, I did it for about a year and a half at a bar in Berkeley.
The fuck? I wouldn't want to work at a bar in Berkeley.
Man, it was.
I worked at one in Portland. That was bad.
It was definitely a shit show every night, but when the fights broke out, it got real crazy because it wasn't just like one or two people fighting.
Oh no!
It would turn into a group fight of some kind, and man, you're just trying to get them out of the bar or away from the bar. Like if it was out front, get away from the bar. Like get out of there.
Yeah.
Right?
Take off.
We don't want the police to show up with you guys doing whatever you're doing. Like get out.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, we had a couple places like that in town that my cousin and I used to work at. We would just regulate things, but it would be always groups of people fighting. It wouldn't just be one. Well,
it would
not
start
always,
with one or two people.
Yeah, it was one dude usually causing a problem.
Yeah.
And then usually another guy like going, oh, and the other group like, I'm going to fight now.
Yeah.
or someone throw a bottle or something. Or
yeah.
I worked in a couple rough places.
Which turns worse. You know, some people start throwing things, then everybody starts fighting.
Oh, dude, one of the first nights I was bouncing at this one bar, there was a fight outside, and it was the end of the night, so everybody's getting kicked out.
Yeah. Last
call was over. We were just hustling people outside. Everybody was fine till then.
Usher everyone.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was outside because I saw something going on. The other bouncers didn't see it, so I was by myself with these, like, 2 customers that were, like, trying not to get in a fight, and the group of, like, 6 dudes that were trying to hurt them. And so I had to step in between that, and then that was the first time I had a beer bottle chucked at me. And I moved just in time for it to crack on the face of the customer that was behind me that I was trying to help out. Poor guy. And he had to get some stitches.
Yeah.
That wasn't fun.
Yeah, they don't break like in the movies, people.
No. It broke, but it broke his face first, and then it broke on the ground. Yeah. It was pretty gnarly. And then, of course, the other guys had bottles because I was the only one that trying to pay attention to what was going on. I was the only one trying to grab bottles from people on their way out. By the way, guys, in California, you're not allowed to take alcohol outside of the bar.
Right.
Well, in some situations you can. But
you know, you have to be in a really small town for where they'd be okay with it. Or if, like, let's say you're in a area where it's a block parade.
Yeah. Well, you can drink on Fisherman's Wharf because it's not land. If it's a man-made structure, you can drink. You can walk around outside and drink on Fisherman's Wharf, and then
I've seen during a parade that it's okay.
Sometimes there's an okay with
festival,
it. Not often. Definitely not here. Not where we're at. But now they have these little booths they're building outside of the bars and restaurants for people to drink outside because of the whole coof thing. So they're doing that. Yeah, that's why you see those little structures in Old Town in front of like some restaurants and stuff.
Oh, yes, I have.
You're allowed to have alcohol there.
And hang out right there.
Yeah. It's
obviously, you're not allowed to walk around.
If it's a fenced-in place and stuff, there's rules as to where you can go with it. Like the bar we hang out at, like there's that outside area in the back. It's all fenced in. It's totally enclosed, so we can drink out there. Okay. It's weird laws. Bigfoot would not approve.
Yeah.
Bigfoot's an alcoholic.
What's funny though is now in Oregon you can though, huh? Somewhat.
Oregon
not in major metropolitan areas, but everywhere else.
Right? Oregon's funny because you have to serve food if you serve liquor. Or at least it used to be.
Oh, yeah. No, I know that rule. No, that's still the law.
I found a strip club there that I didn't find it. I ended up in one that I thought was going to be a steakhouse because I was hanging out with a guy that I became drinking buddies with in Portland. And we were like, he's like, hey, I'm going to take you to this place. You know, you like sushi? I'm like, oh, yeah, I love sushi. Here's this fucking Nyota Mori bar. Do you know what that is? That's when they put banana leaves on naked chicks and eat sushi off their bodies.
Oh, okay.
It's a real thing.
Okay.
Google it, fuckers. I know you're going to say I'm lying.
I mean, I've definitely seen that before in movies and
movies
shows.
And stuff. Those really exist. And it might have been a promoter's night or something, but he was like, yeah, let's going to go do this. Because I tried to get a promotion like that going at one of the bars that I used to work at. And one of the owners just would not do it. The other one was all about it. And like her husband was like, no, we're not doing that. Which you would have thut would be the other way around.
Yeah.
But although, looking around Humboldt County, maybe you don't want to eat sushi off of these chicks. I don't know. I would have got a couple guys involved too, just to be fair. You know, equal opportunity sushi eater offer. Anyway, I digress. But so I go in there, and back then I was a bit of a prude because I was still pretty young. This has been a long time ago, and I'm like, dude, what did you just take me to do? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I haven't seen this much stupidity since I used to like get money back for Russian dudes that live in the hills in Humboldt. He's like, oh, you're not feeling it? I'm like, no. So he's like, okay, I know a steakhouse down the road. We'll go there. I'm like, sweet, dude. I love steak. So we go down there, and I'm not paying attention to anything at this point because we've had a few. I order my fucking steak. We're sitting at the bar, what I thought was a bar. Okay, so Portland and I and strip clubs have a weird thing.
Weird relationship.
We do. We have a very strange one. I have a lot of good strip club stories for a guy that doesn't go to fucking strip clubs ever.
Yeah.
And we're eating, and all of a sudden I just see this ass and vagina like swing over my food, and I fucking yanked my plate away, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, and I looked up, and there was a stage where you eat your food.
They let you eat the steak next to the stage?
Yeah, it was they were on the bar dancing.
All right, so I've been to the Hustler Club in San Francisco, and they do serve steak, but you are not
Dude,
allowed to eat near the stage.
You have to serve food if you serve alcohol in Oregon.
Well, no,
now
yeah,
we were this was like, I don't know if they were supposed to do it, but we were sitting at the bar. I thought it was just the bar.
Ass.
Yeah, and the ass came real close to touching my T-bone, and I was not a fucking happy camper. It might have been a New York strip. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But New York. Oh God, it probably was
Fun to look at. I don't know if you want to taste that.
It wasn't
on your steak.
that fun to look at.
Yeah,
so
that's sad too.
I went on a family vacation not too long ago. More strip club stories. We decided to go to Portland. I got family up there still. I love them. It's fun to go visit
family
them.
Vacation, huh?
And yeah, we went to OMSI. You ever been there? Like the Museum of Science and Industrial stuff. The sub.
I haven't done a lot of stuff in Portland.
There's a lot to do. Like accidentally end up in a strip club. So she wanted to go to Voodoo Donuts.
Okay, yeah.
And I didn't want to wait in line for 5 fucking hours. There was one of the ones in like the downtown area. There's like 2 or 3 of them.
There's one in downtown that's really popular that everybody goes to. And
right behind that one, there's a bar. I said, okay, hon, you want donuts? I don't like donuts, believe it or not. I'm going to go and have a drink while you wait in line for God knows how long.
Forever.
For a fucking donut. Because they're famous.
It's like that in L.A. too.
Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's are famous too. I don't want to fucking go there. I'm not going to wait in line for them. So I go in. I'm going to the bar, and there's one of those like drinking areas like what we have here for the outside, where it's like the fence there.
Yeah.
And there's a gal sitting there. I'm like, hey, is there beer inside? She said, yeah. I said, cool. And I went and I sat down. And I walked in. And this is a really long building right behind the Voodoo Donuts there. And I mean, it's long, like there's deep, but I wasn't paying attention because I was just like, I'm in beer mode now because I'm already having to deal with people that I don't like, and fucking I wasn't gonna wait in line for fucking donuts. So I go sit at the bar, talking to the bartender chick, really sweet gal, buff as hell. She's a gymnast. She had wings bigger than mine. That's not saying a lot, but she's huge, buff as shit. And I asked her, I'm like, hey, are you like a bodybuilder or something, or a martial artist? She's like, I'm a gymnast. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So we started talking about like weightlifting regimens and shit. And I ordered my beer, and the chick from outside comes up and she's like, sits next to me. And at this point, I realized she's dressed kind of funny, but I'm not judging. I'm in Portland. Everyone's dressed funny. Yeah. I'm dressed funny.
Yeah, that's how Portland works.
Yeah, so no biggie. I'm used to that kind of thing. So she sits down. She's like, you going to buy me a drink? And I'm like, you know what? I'm in a better mood now. I normally don't do that. I'm going to buy you a drink because I normally don't. If a chick buys me a drink first at a bar, I will buy her a drink back.
Sure, yeah.
I usually don't just fucking buy random chicks a drink.
No, if it's my friend, that's a different story.
Yeah, and it's always a good way to be friends with me is to go, hey, can I buy you a round? Instead of asking me, hey, you going to buy me a drink? No, because every guy buys chicks drinks all the time because chicks walk up and say, oh, I'm going to shelve that guy today. Hey, you going to buy me a drink?
Right, yeah, exactly.
And no reciprocity.
Not
that I was worried about
it. It's a trap. Guys,
yeah,
it's a trap.
Yeah, save your money on someone that's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to say they're not nice, but if they're not willing to have a fucking conversation.
They're not
with
there
you,
for what you think. The intentions are not genuine.
And I knew this, but I was having a good time talking to the bartender chick, and it was fun, And she eventually was like, because we talked for maybe like a half hour or so.
Yeah.
And then I go, okay, well I'm gonna go. I'll be back probably. I gotta go check on my wife. She's probably halfway through the line at the donut place, and so I sure enough, I said, hey, I'm going to have another one. Good luck. Walk back in, sat down. I was still talking to the bartender chick, and she's like, you're not like a lot of the guys that come in here. You're not a creepy asshole. And I'm like, well, I'm creepy, and I'm definitely an asshole. I'm not being one to you. What's going on? And at this point, like, she goes, well, it's just kind of weird. So I looked back, and it was weird because these guys served, like, deli sandwiches at the bar. And so there's this couple, like on a date, this round table, middle of the bar, having a sandwich, a couple sandwiches, having their beers. And I look back further and I notice how dim it is. And I look back even further and I notice a stage. And then I notice the boobs and the money getting thrown around. And I'm like, oh. She's like, what? I'm like, I didn't realize this was a dancing bar. She's like, I thought you knew this was a strip club. I'm like, no.
Not a clue.
She's like, okay, that explains why you're not being creepy. I'm like, I'm not against it. I just didn't expect to be in a fucking strip club in the middle of the day having a beer.
Yeah. That's odd.
It's funny as hell, especially behind a Voodoo Donut. She was very cool, though. After that, we bullshitted. But
that's crazy.
The fucking next night, a buddy of mine, I'm not going to say his name just in case his wife listens because she doesn't know. He was there on business in Portland.
All right.
Just happened to be there the same week. A guy from here.
Okay.
And I saw he was in Portland. I'm like, fucker, I'm in Portland. What are you doing? Let's go hang out.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, let's go to a bar. I'm like, cool. What kind do we want? We want a sports bar, a titty bar, a fucking dancing bar. And he's like, a cigar bar. He's like, all of them.
All of them.
So we put in, we put in the closest strip bar we could find to, because he picked me up at the hotel, and because he wasn't too far off from there, and we found the closest strip club we could find, and I knew it was going to be bad when the bartender served us pint glasses that were made of like plastic, not like thin plastic. They were made to look like pint glasses.
But
they were like
made of
acrylic.
Plastic. Yeah,
they were
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I've had that before.
I'm like, oh god, there's going to be bloodshed in this place tonight at some point. And then
the plastic glasses are plastic because it's dangerous here.
Yeah, and he and I both worked for the same beer distributor for quite a while at different times.
All right.
No, we worked together for a while there, but we've been around the same circle of people here, and it's a small community in Humboldt. So we go in.
I'm learning that.
Yeah.
Yep.
We get our beers, and we go to play pool at the only pool table at the bar, and there is a stain of some unknown substance on the felt, and both of us were like, dude, I don't fucking know about this, but we just played around that stain as much as we could. And then the stripper on stage, I'm not going to say she was, I'm not going to say anything really negative about her, but she was, as Dane Cook would say, shapes. And not in the right places. She was having conversations across the bar with us, or trying to.
Weird.
That's not a good sign.
No, that's weird.
And so my buddy looks at me and he goes, and he said one of the best things, and it's also super offensive. And he's like, hey, we got to finish this game, because both of us were committed. And not finishing a pool game fucking sucks.
Right.
Between he and I, because we just wanted to, one of us wanted to win. And he's like, this cannot be the last pair of titties I see tonight. We have to find a better place after this game is over. And so we finished it. And then another bad sign, on your way out the club, if the stripper on stage is saying, bye guys, thanks for coming, see you later, probably don't want to go back there.
No, it's usually not a thing you should have to say.
It gets better from there.
What happened?
We go to a different strip club. We go in. I can't remember the name of it. I'm not going to even try. We go in, put it in the Google thing, the GPS, we get there.
Yeah.
And much higher end establishment, mind you.
Okay.
A big upgrade. Regular glass for the beer. For the beer. Yep.
Step up.
Awesome.
Very classy.
So we both got some beers, and I look over, and there's this one girl alone working on stage, because all the other strippers had quit that night.
Fuck.
Dude. The weirdest shit ever
shit,
happens to me in my life. Yeah, no, they all bounced. But this one chick stayed, and dude, she was fucking hot.
Yeah.
I mean, she was good looking. Like super hot. And he and I were looking for the pool table for a second, looking around. Is there one? There is one. Okay, we could go play pool. But then I noticed, I'm like, hey, dude. He's like, what? I'm like, there's this one creepy guy. And because we had bullshit with the bartender, but I kept looking over. I have a habit to look around my surroundings at the bar, just because, working
I do
for so
too.
long.
That's the first thing I do when I walk in.
Yeah, you should. Situational awareness is important. But I noticed this one creepy fucking dude at the stage. The stage was offset from the bar.
Yeah.
And every time she'd walk away, and the pole was like far away from where he was.
Yeah.
So she'd start walking away to go do a pole thing, and he'd put more money down and whistle, and she'd have to come back and rub her tits in his face. And I was like, okay, dude, I feel really fucking bad for this chick. We're going to go. I'm going to put money down for both of us, because this guy needs to back off.
Yeah.
It just felt really bad for her. And we get over there. We sit down. I put money in front of me. He's almost to the seat. I put money where he's sitting. And she crawls over. Just like, which is not unhot. Don't get me wrong, it was fun.
Right.
But then she does like the worst thing she could do, and she goes to me. She goes, "I'm sativa." I'm from Humboldt County, guys. It's a straight up pot. And I'm like, of course you are.
Yeah, of course.
Of course you are. Sure you are. You don't have to give me your name. I'm just looking at your tits.
Let me guess. You have a twin sister named Indica.
Oh my god, dude! But it gets even worse. I got a special trick. Anytime a stripper tells you they have a special trick, and there's only 3 people sitting at the strip place where they dance, stage, stage, that thing, fucking, what do you call it? Stage. Yeah, that thing. There's cause for concern. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right. And I put like a $5 or $10 bill down in front of both mine and his seat. I can't remember which because I felt really shitty because this guy was definitely like basically away from throwing quarters to try to get her attention, you know?
Oh, shit.
And this guy was getting pissed. I looked over on purpose just to make sure I fucking cockblocked this. Well, ruined this guy's night just a little. I wasn't trying to cock, but he wasn't getting any. But, well, not without force.
He was getting, well, yeah.
God, that's dark. But sitting there and she puts her head in my lap off the stage. Like, she puts my shoulders back first against the chair, and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the next part of me goes,
happening.
I'm in danger. I do the Ralph Wiggum thing. So I sit back, and my hands are down because you don't touch the strippers. You're not supposed to. Just in case you don't know, guys, you're not supposed to grow up and be on the strippy.
No.
And so I'm sitting back, and she puts her head down in my lap after that and throws her legs out in the split and does a fucking headstand and slings her ass at my face.
At maximum speed, I imagine.
At full velocity. I moved my head back like this. Like I was trying to dodge a fucking Jackie Chan punch or some shit. Like I moved back, and don't get me wrong, guys, the landscape was great. It looked like it was fine quality under stuff, okay?
Fine.
The downstairs was very attractive. I'm up to date on my tetanus boosters, but I wouldn't push it. But her asshole came towards my nose at such a rate of speed. I was like, nope. Like, I don't know who else's nose has been in that butthole tonight. There's no way that's touching my face.
I mean, yeah.
But that was Sativa's special trick. And then she gets back down on her hands and knees, and she goes, your friend's cute, too. I'm like, cool. I said, hey, buddy, I got to take a piss. I'll be right back. So I grab my beer, and I go take a piss, and I come back out. He's like, you took your fucking beer with you? I'm like, yeah. Wouldn't you? He's like, you went to the bathroom. I'm like, I didn't piss in it.
Right.
I don't know who's around here.
No, you never trust your drink unless it's
exactly. You cover that shit. Somebody's watching it.
If you know your friend is drunk, he ain't watching it.
At our bar, I can almost 100% always trust my drink in someone's hands there. The place that we hang out.
I usually just
and
cover it and say, hey, I'll be right back.
And then you put a coaster over it and
bartender
fucking walk
will be like,
away.
no problem. Yeah.
I didn't know a goddamn person in this bar, and I didn't know if Creepy Guy was going to try to dose me and have sex with me like he was trying to have sex with Sativa, obviously.
Yeah.
She was hot, though, dude. Like, that was a nice thing.
Yeah.
But then after the butthole towards the nose incident, I told my buddy, I'm like, dude, okay, I need a smoke. And I don't smoke very often. I cigars. Oh, I forgot cigars. That's what I forgot to do.
That's true, huh?
God damn, I was going to bring cigars. I'm sorry, man. Next time I'll bring cigars. Well, we ended up at a cigar bar.
Okay.
So I've been to 2 cigar bars in my life where you can actually smoke and drink at the same time inside. It's one of the best things on the planet. The one in Portland, it was a McMenamins.
Okay.
Highly recommended. Great selection of beer and cigars. They had some nice scotches too, I think.
Yeah, the one I went to was cigars and scotch only.
Yeah,
This
had beers too.
It was good
because I don't really drink a lot of hard liquor. I just try not to. And then
you're supposed to sip that. Really, you just let it. You let it,
Yeah, until you get to going, hey, let me buy you a shot. You're going to shoot? Let me going to take a shot. I think we did that the other night.
Yeah, we
didn't
did. Yeah.
I think we might have put down something a little
wild
heavy.
the other night.
Yeah, it was fun. It's been an interesting week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to Tuesday and see how that mets out for our jam session night. But
those are fun, though.
Oh, yeah, hella fun.
Yep.
Except people always want me to, like, play harmonica and sing, and I don't know how to do either of those things. But
yeah, but eventually everybody gets drunk enough and everybody sings.
I know. Every time it's the
fantastic.
most offensive thing ever when people are like, oh, you're a really good singer. I'm like, you're really drunk.
You are super drunk.
It's like telling the bartender, you're really hot. Well, everyone's 20% hotter behind the bar. That's a fact.
Number one.
The next rule behind that fact from Jay, guys, that you need to hold to your heart is don't hook up with someone you meet at a pharmacy. They're definitely there for Valtrex.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
I'm a horrible person.
You're not. You want to hear my strip club stories?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So.
Absolutely. That's not even a question you should need to ask.
So I grew up in the Bay Area, so naturally we've got Broadway, right? Broadway's the main place to go in the Bay Area. If you don't know, that's the place.
Okay.
So you go there. There's about 5 or 6 different strip clubs. Personal favorites probably be the Condor Club and Garden of Eden, to be honest.
You have favorite strip clubs?
Yeah, because,
Have you been to the one here?
No, I have not. Tip Top?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Nah, I'm not too worried about it. I've heard the descriptions.
I think they're closed.
Anyways, you're younger. I just turned 18, and they have a club there called the Roaring Twenties that an 18-year-old can go to for. The rest of the clubs you can't go to because they serve alcohol, they serve food and all that, and you got to be at least 21 to walk in.
Yeah.
But it's a cool story. So we all go there. It's my 18th birthday. We all get there. It's me, Jeremy.
Oh yeah.
My buddy Johnny. He's another longtime friend. I've known him since I was like 11. And a guy who worked for the company that me and my mom was running, named Kevin. And as we all get out there, get to the club, thinking everything's cool. It's a birthday, feeling good. Had a couple drinks out in the car, pre-gamed a little bit, went in. And, you're having fun. You get in there, and there's some good-looking girls in there. You're like, all right, cool. This is going to be fun. And, some time goes by, hour or so, we're shooting the shit. Watch a couple girls go up on stage and dance. And eventually, the DJ's like, over the loudspeaker, he's like, hey! I was like, oh, shit, what the fuck? And Johnny's looking over at me with this fucking devious smile. And I'm just like, yeah, I know what you did.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So, but what was cool, it actually turned out kind of fun. So it didn't turn out as bad as I thought it would. I was thinking she's like, 3 girls are going to try to dogpile on me or do some weird shit and just fuck with me because it's my birthday, right?
Throw their butthole in your nose.
Or throw their butthole in my nose, which didn't happen, thank God. But it was kind of funny. So it's another dude's birthday in there, too. It says 2 birthdays. Coincidences of that, I don't fucking know. But we get up on a stage, and, they call us up. These 2 strippers come and grab us out of our seat, call us up there. Get up on a stage, and they go, it's Stripper Olympics. And I'm like, what the hell is that?
You have my attention.
Right. So they call it Stripper Olympics. And I'm like, what is that? He's like, are you guys ready to try your hardest and be your best? And I'm like, I'm not sure. Maybe, I guess. And the guy's like, all right, so we got 2 birthday boys in the house tonight. We got Lance. And we've got, I think the other guy's name is starts with an R. Richard.
I'm glad you didn't forget your name. That would have been really awkward for the story.
So anyways, I think his name's Richard or something. Anyways,
dick.
Come up there. Yeah, he was a dick. Literally, by name. But, we go up there, and what's funny is there's one stripper, and both of them look fantastic, but one stripper's petite. The other one's an Amazonian.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong, like I said. Beautiful women, both of them. But for whatever reason, I am required to carry the stripper during the Stripper Olympics on my back, and for some reason, they gave me the Amazonian.
I don't know if you know this, but you're kind of built like a brick shit house, bro.
And I wasn't built like a brick shit house then. I was strong. But skinnier.
That would probably make more sense now than it would then.
I mean, now, I'm in the 200 pounds range, and back then, probably 170, 175.
The scary part is I probably outweigh you.
You might, but...
Well, maybe not.
I don't know.
I'm 210, 215.
I'm 227 right now.
Yeah, you're slightly heavier than I am.
So, but yeah, so the first one is to do squats with this stripper. You basically we're doing 69 in squats. So stripper's ass is in your face, while her face is in your crotch. I was like, all right, cool, this is fun. So you're doing these squats, do as many as you can. I didn't do so good there, but then what's fantastic, and I'm not. Yeah, I guess I did, which is surprising because I'm a track star, so obviously legs should have been strong.
I like how you say you're a track star, and all this I ran track. I'm a track star.
No, I was a track star.
I am the Bruce Jenner before the
No, not like that. Not an Olympian level, but regional is good.
That doesn't surprise me that you were a track star. Yeah, I'm sure you lettered.
But I had my Letterman and all that. But
not a surprise.
But so anyways, the second part of the Olympics, the Stripper Olympics, was to do push-ups with her on the back. So I have a girl who obviously weighs, and again, she's fit. She looks good. She's an Amazon. But she weighs 150.
Like in shape.
She weighs 150, and I guarantee you that other girl weighed like 90.
Did you need a refill?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, maybe in a minute. But girl weighs 90. Anyways, What's hilarious is I had been like working on push-ups lately. So I fucking actually out push-up this man with the obviously larger stripper on my back. And I did like 50 push-ups. And the DJ goes, "When are you stopping?" That's all he said. He goes, "When are you stopping?" And I didn't realize. He's like, "I didn't realize you were a fucking Marine." And I'm like, I'm not a Marine. Now the worst part is at the end, they did a thing where they literally, because I won, my reward was I get to have an up on a stage lap dance by 3 girls. Let me tell you, I had no shirt left. It was gone. They ripped the fucking thing off of me like they were rabid piranhas. I don't know. It was not fun. That part was not fun because they also grinded their ass into my face so hard that I swear to God I was going to get a black eye the next day.
At least they didn't leave brown marks. You're fine.
Fucked up.
I hope they bleached first.
Anyways, that was my first strip club story. It's kind of wild. It was fun. You know, it's fine. It was an experience.
You know, I'd go to strip club with my wife once in a while. She'd want to go, and then she'd leave as friends with strippers. And so now I know people that used to dance as friends because of my wife. We'd go. She'd make friends. I'm like, that's not what this is for, right?
She's like, yeah, but she was nice.
After my cousin, right. It was funny because we used to do a big thing every 4th of July, big huge barbecue. Now we kind of settled it down a little bit, but it used to be huge. And just because it's just a pain in the ass.
It does sound like a good time, though.
It is. We're going to do something again this year. Nice. Just not super huge.
I got to see 4th of July here, though. That was cool.
Yeah, you can actually see the fireworks sometimes. It's pretty nice.
No, I went down there. I was.
Oh, you can see it from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can see it from my front of my house. My cousin was working at the strip club. My youngest daughter's birthday is on the 6th of July.
Yeah.
And we do usually mixed celebration, 4th of July barbecue / birthday party. My cousin goes, "Hey, can I invite some coworkers to the barbecue?" Because he was helping me put it on. We do like 4 tri-tips, like nice. 3 racks of ribs, oysters. I did pizzas on the grill. We did burgers and hot dogs, and I made jungle juice.
Goddamn.
Straight up, carved a watermelon. I tapped a watermelon with a beer tap.
There you go.
I had my kegerator running at the time. I mean, we were ready to go. But it was going to be subtle because it was also the kids' party.
Sure.
And we may have gotten some illicit patriotic things from a different state that were really loud.
Oh, boom booms.
Yeah. But we weren't the only ones, so it was fine.
All right.
Anyway, so he goes, "Yeah, I want to invite some coworkers." So I'm thinking, okay, the bartenders at the club. He wants to invite over the other security guys. No, he invites the dancers over to my house.
All the dancers.
Yeah. And so it kind of
went off real well for everybody.
Oh, dude. I had my friend's 2 sons over.
Shit.
Because she had to work, and she's like, "Hey, can you watch the boys?" I said, "Absolutely, dude." They're cool dudes.
Yeah.
So they're hanging out with my offspring and some other people's kids. We just had a bunch of people over.
Huh.
And I don't know if you know this about certain kinds of strippers, because I'm sure there's varying degrees. But the ones I encountered that day were not the kinds my wife makes friends with. That way. Not that there's, hey guys, and I'm not against party animals at all. I've been there. I've been a party guy myself.
Yeah,
definitely, absolutely.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I've never done any drugs illicitly, ever. Not even weed. I know. I live in Humboldt County. Never smoked a reefer.
Hey, wow.
I'm definitely allergic to it. That's probably
shit,
why.
Really?
Yeah, I used to collect money for drug dealers.
Well, yeah.
And back in my sordid past. Yeah, well, it was money. It was easy. It was always very nice. I never had to hit anybody too much. So,
that's good.
Yeah. Anyway, my cousin's wife is hanging out with these gals too, and I'm blasting I think it was James Brown, one of James Brown's albums or something. And the chick walks in, she's like, "Oh my God, you tapped a watermelon. That's the ghettoest thing I've ever seen in my life." And this was an African American girl.
Yeah.
And she immediately turned around and said, and this is where I was worried, "Why are you playing this 80s music?" It's James Brown. He's the godfather of soul. What are you
You're
talking
like,
about?
This isn't 80s, first of all.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. He did stuff in the 80s. It wasn't one of those.
It wasn't this.
I can't remember which one it was, but I'm like, no, what? What? And she was just super excited, and I was just confused. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let that go. And a little bit later, she walks over and hands me this little key fob. And she's like, here, you need to hold this. And I'm like, okay. And I have my stereo pumping music. I got the bass up loud because, I wanted to hear the bass.
Sure.
And I push the button on the key fob, and a light comes on. There's 4 little lights. So I push the button again. The other light comes on. Finally, all 4 lights are on. I'm like, what does this fucking do? Because no cars are going off. I was like, what the fuck? So I set it literally in front of the woofer of my stereo that I had out there. Mm-hmm. And I walked away and forgot about it. About fucking 20 minutes later, these strippers are walking around yelling at each other's crotches. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Hell?
So I pull one aside. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? My cousin's wife has her clit pierced, apparently. In case you guys didn't know. Wow. You do now. And
tell
apparently, well, this is how it was explained to me. The one stripper comes up, hey, yeah. I said, what are you guys doing? Because they were like yelling at each other's crotches. Like, what are you doing?
What the fuck?
Like at their pockets and shit. I'm like, what's going on here? And there's kids around. I'm like, what are you fucking doing? Like, this is a family event too. You can't just be weird. She's like, well, we're trying to find the remote for, I'm going to say so-and-so's vibrator.
Oh shit, that's what it was?
It's voice activated.
Oh fuck.
She handed me the key fob that was voice activated, and the more lights were on, the harder the intensity versus the music. And I put it in front of my subwoofer. And so for like a half an hour, 45 minutes, she was having some jigglies going on down there. It digressed immediately thereafter to yanking each other's underwear off through their jeans. For real. I was picking up stripper panties in my yard for a week and a half or longer. Seriously. It started with like, who can do the best wedgie or something. And my friends' kids are my kids were all in the house. Hallelujah. But the other kids were out. The two boys. And they were like, fucking, the look on their face was sheer terror and not knowing what was going on. So I had to explain to my friend when she came to pick him up the next day what happened.
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, I'm really sorry, Tiff. I had to explain to the boys that strippers are bad people sometimes.
You're like,
when they're in front of children doing that. They weren't no, I'm not saying strippers are bad people, to clarify. I was like, these ones were being bad.
Yeah. That's fucking funny.
Like Velcro gloves and a sheep bad.
Yeah,
like,
they were on another level.
But no, seriously, like I was picking up stripper panty cloth for like weeks in my yard.
That's fucked up.
It was so gnarly. And
That's
I'm like,
fucking weird.
I told my cousin, I'm like, bro, like.
I mean, I've heard of that before, like vibrating panties and all that kind of shit.
This was a thing, I guess, that hooked to the actual piercing.
That's fucked. Wow.
And it's voice activated.
Wow.
And I'm like, someone neglected to mention to me that A, he was inviting strippers, and B, his wife had a vibrator in at my kid's birthday party / 4th of July party.
Yeah, who does that?
My cousin.
Okay. Who does that? You know what? Sounds like a great place to go ahead and get off.
In front of children.
Children's party.
We don't do that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, newsflash, this just in. Jeffrey Epstein still did not kill himself.
He didn't.
And Ghislaine Maxwell's on trial. Let's see if that goes anywhere.
It's going to get pretty ugly.
I have a feeling that she's going to get removed from the planet before it gets ugly.
You think so?
No, I hope not. I hope not. I want to expose these bastards. Kid touchers, not my thing.
No. That's not cool.
We have a very open policy about pedophilia at Vanishing Gates. We fucking hate them.
So you know what? You want to hear the fucked up thing I've learned recently?
I don't know. It's going to piss me off.
Yeah, it'll probably piss you off a little bit.
All right, fuck it. Why not?
But so Jeremy, I don't know, he went down during Thanksgiving down to the Bay Area, right? And, he went to go visit his mom and all that. And he hits me up and he goes, bro. And I go, what? And he goes, you're not going to fucking believe this. I said, what? And he's like, you know that it's legal that if your child is 14 and they date a 24-year-old, it's legal? It's not pedophilia?
There's an extent to that rule.
And I was like, but how does that work? It's illegal if someone isn't consenting, like, and
Yeah,
on top of
underage.
it, like, parents have to be involved, right? And he's like, no, technically, there's a
Yeah,
loophole.
no, that changed recently when they did that.
What the
yeah.
fuck was that?
I don't know exactly. It's still, the parents can still
My
file a
thought
complaint.
process is there are going to be a lot of fathers in jail real quick.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of dudes getting shot directly in the head.
Yeah, no, I would.
Like,
My
yeah,
son-
me too.
I know that sounds terrible to just fucking.
No, it's not. Someone touches your kid, kill him. That's what you're for.
Yeah, no.
You're there to do that.
I mean, it sounds terrible to kill a person in that sense, but they know.
I tell you what, man. If you're victimizing a kid, you're not a person.
You're not. You're not. You know, and they're still
I have
trying.
no sympathy.
Shit, I was a teenager, man. I didn't know fucking goddamn heads from toes. So
Yeah.
how is your teenage daughter or son or whatever the hell's going on? I don't know which way, because things can go so many different ways in this world anymore.
I have a rule in my family with
but
all of my kids,
if you-
boys and girls. You're not allowed to date
No.
or have social media
Well,
until you're done with, until you're into college, and then it's up to you. And when you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. I'm not raising grandbabies.
well, no. So, but my daughter does has a boyfriend, but
Oh, I'm not judging anyone that
but
lets their
they're
kids
now
date.
they're
I'm
now
just not
they're
doing it.
now they're both 16. So
Well,
it's a
yeah.
little more innocent than
Well,
what we're talking about.
My oldest is 14, and
What we're talking about is
she
fucked up.
grossed out by dudes. So
Well, good for you, man.
all my kids are like grossed out by the opposite. So it's great. And they're both like, yeah, I'm too young for that. I don't want to hear about it.
I mean, I had a girlfriend in high school.
Oh yeah, I had a
You
few
know.
too. But I know what kind of person I was in high school, and even though I meant well, I didn't mean well.
Well, no. I was definitely, a little horn dog and all that, obviously. But and the goal obviously was to get my girlfriend to sleep with me. That
Well, yeah.
But it was also innocent in its own sense because
Well, you're of the same age. It's a little different than when you're fucking 34 and trying to bang on a 17-year-old.
There's no
Like,
innocence.
there's
no innocence to that.
issues.
That's just direct, straight up.
That's just naughty. Bad things.
Yeah, it's wrong. It's wrong.
It's Krampus
wrong.
knock. Did you know that?
Is it?
Do you know what Krampus knock is?
No. What's that?
Do you know what Krampus is?
I knew who Krampus is. Yeah.
It's Krampus knock, the night that Krampus shows up to beat
Whatever, yeah.
bad behaving children with birch sticks. And
Yeah.
steal them away to, I don't
Slavery
know,
or
wherever.
whatever they do. Yeah.
Spain, I think.
Yeah. Spain.
No, I think that's like one
Is
of the
that
old
what it
stories.
was?
I think that's the Dutch version of Santa Claus, actually, not
I thought
Krampus.
that he like used them to
He might use them for slave labor.
do some kind of slavery thing. It was
I think,
weird.
depending on where you're at in Bavaria, Krampus is the son of Grilla the Christmas troll, and
Yeah.
Grilla the Christmas troll would like gut the kids and fill them with straw and rocks, and like I don't know. After that,
That sounds fucking terrible.
that
but
doesn't
yeah,
sound like a
that
fun
sounds
time at
terrifying
all.
as fuck.
Speaking of hurting children,
Jesus.
yeah,
No, but yeah, it's just we're getting to a point where it's a weird world right now, where there's actual people advocating to
oh, I know,
to
I
let
know.
pedophilia be a legal matter, and it's fucking
won't- they're-
disgusting.
You know, it's funny.
It's disgusting.
I have some good friends that are part of the LGBTQ community, and they're freaking awesome people. Some of my favorite fucking people in the world.
Sure.
And now they're getting lumped into people trying to add the P on the end of that for pedophilia, and they are pissed.
No, yeah, fuck
I don't
that
know
shit.
any of those dudes that are cool with that shit at all. Like, none of the ones I know are cool with that.
You're talking about a person who's seen nothing in life and a person who's seen so much shit that it's easy for them to take advantage of that.
yeah.
And then you're talking about some of it, in some instances, you're talking about a kid. You're talking about some of these guys are, and these
Yeah.
gals are attracted to like a 9-year-old.
Yeah, that's gross.
And you're like, what the hell?
That's nasty. I don't even like to hang out so when my kids have friends over,
Yeah.
I distance myself from the entire group of kids unless they need me for something. Because
Sure.
I'm not even going to get accused of that shit. Hell no. One of my kids has a friend who's a stepdad now because they're
Okay.
married. She went and stayed the night at their place.
Yeah.
And he made sure she got home safely. They rode their bikes back here. We had all gone out to Freshwater Park, the local watering hole here,
Yeah.
when it's open. And he made sure she got back safe. He sat on the front porch of my house and did not go inside while she was in there. And I had more respect for that dude than he ever could understand, because I would have done the same damn thing. One of the kids' friends showed up thinking that one of them would be here, and she lives in a different town. I'm like, hey, here's the deal. You can come in and hang out. I'm going to be outside in the garage because my garage, is not connected to my house because
right.
in it, the studio. Like, I'm going to go do some work. If you need something, just text me or something. There's food in the kitchen. Just be careful. If there's an emergency, call me. Otherwise, I'm not going to be in here.
Yeah,
it's just there's some miscommunication on scheduling. So
it's pretty weird
playing that game.
I mean, it's we're getting to a time in the world where like they're trying to create acceptance for like everything, and it's like, hey, there needs to be a line.
Yeah, there needs to be a line. We should accept a lot of things that we hadn't accepted in the past, but when it comes to something like that, that's not cool. That's not cool at all.
And also when somebody's drawing a line, you can't just alienate somebody for that. Okay, because their point of view and their opinion is still their point of view and opinion.
I have definitely had people try to alienate me and get me canceled for this kind of thing, talking about this
silly
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not playing that game. There's a couple things that'll really get me my Irish up and get my hands going. And one of them's hurting kids. Like, that's just
it should never happen.
Yeah,
should never happen.
I know a bunch of
hopefully there's always a good father on watch.
I would hope so.
Hopefully.
I know some good crab fishermen that will pay top dollar for guys like that's leftovers, because crab apparently really likes old people meat.
Wow.
So I've heard. I've never killed anyone that I know of, guys. Calm down. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying I haven't.
Saying you should be afraid. That's all. No, I'm just kidding.
I actually have a cop buddy of mine that he was going through some stuff with his ex, and this guy was being kind of weird, the ex's boyfriend or whatever. I'm like, hey, if you want, I know some crab fishermen and a butcher, and we can make this problems. You can't tell me stuff like that. I'm like, I just did. I just did. Dude. I'll do it. I don't care. if he's as bad as you say, I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
I'll oblige.
Really, really bad people, I like to believe that really bad people eventually get what's coming to them.
Yeah, and I don't really condone just vigilante violence or anything.
No.
Unless
nobody's
it's
Batman
necessary.
Here. All right.
Yeah, we do have law enforcement for a reason, and they do usually a good job. Yeah. At least the ones I know all do a good job.
Yeah.
And
there's definitely ones out there that are on the side of the people for sure.
Oh yeah, and there's some that are shitbags, but there's shitbags in everything. So I got involved with a Karen at Costco the other day.
That sounds like fun.
I have never had a full-on Karen moment.
Was her name actually Karen?
I don't know, but her haircut was.
Oh, yeah. 1980s.
She had a kid with her. Oh, dude. It wasn't even. It was like one of those, I don't know. It was a Karen haircut. But I didn't realize that I was blocking the aisle. I thought I had moved, because those are big-ass fucking wide aisles. And I thought I had moved my cart out of the way. Wife was going to the pharmacy for something. And I thought there was plenty of path. People were walking by me without a problem the whole time. So I just moved it out of the way, because I don't like to take up people's space and be a dick. It's not my thing, unless I want to. And I didn't. So I'm looking at my phone, and she starts talking about me, and I picked it up with my ear, because she's being loud enough intentionally for me to hear.
On purpose.
At least I would get out of the way for people, because I'm not just an asshole. I looked around like, look here, you fucking cunt. You Karen-y fucking cunt. Let me explain something to you. You're not the nicest fucking person on the fucking planet. And I'm yelling this in front of people. Not yelling, but like that loud. Very far. And there's an old lady laughing her ass off right next to me, because this chick was obviously a bitch.
Yeah.
And I was going off, dude. Her kid was like a kid. When I say kid, he was like probably 17, 18 years old. He wasn't a little kid, or I wouldn't have done that. But he was definitely older and needed to hear this shit too, because his mom's obviously an atrocious bitch. And I know that he felt that, because if someone would talk to my mom that way, well, I don't care who they are. I'd be going to town. I'd be trying at least. Yeah. I might get my ass kicked by an old dude, but fucking, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
But this kid just kind of looked down like he knew that she was a terrible person, because she was absolutely a terrible person. I said, not everyone is just an insensitive jerk. I didn't realize I was blocking the way. You could have been a polite adult and asked me to fucking move nicely.
Or the word
no. Yeah, anything like that. But no, you wanted to be a deplorable cunt. Go fuck yourself. Fuck you and fuck the horse you rode in on.
Yeah.
And your fucking husband hates you. I guarantee it. If he hasn't left yet for his secretary. And
Damn.
Dude, I was in a bad mood already. I fucking hate shopping, and so I was already in a bad mood. That's not my normal, but that chick just immediately, the energy she was giving off, the seething, swampy nastiness of her fucking vaginal teeth leaking through her gross Kmart panties. I was just so pissed. I'm just guessing on all that.
Yeah.
The teeth are probably pretty much
probably
there,
accurate,
though.
Yeah. Nah, man, I know what you mean, though, man. I working in a service industry like I do, there are people who are so, like, self-absorbed and so, what do you call it? Think of the word here. Entitled.
Oh, dude.
Like, incredibly entitled.
I hate that.
And they treat you like you're a fucking robot instead of a human. And you're just trying to have a conversation with them and help them, actually.
Yeah.
And regardless of that, they're still treating you the same perspective. And you're like, you're not looking or hearing what I'm saying. You're just reacting and reacting and reacting.
Yeah, and not in an appropriate fashion.
No. In a completely rude and dehumanizing fashion.
And that was the thing, too.
Yeah.
One of the things.
What the hell?
One of the things I told her was like, well, I don't work here. You can't go talk to the fucking manager. Fuck off. She didn't have a goddamn thing to say either. She shut down quick.
That's probably because nobody's told her that. Maybe.
Oh, dude. She glared at me. Hi, I'm in chat. How are you, mother?
The last time her husband said something like that to her, he probably got shut down so hard.
Oh, dude. So
feel sorry for the man.
On the same line of people feeling entitled and stupid, when I used to work at one of the clubs here, it was kind of a slower night, and we had enough staff where I was like, I clocked off. The boss was hanging out, and I went and sat and sat at the bar with her, and I ordered a beer.
Yeah. And
I went to sat at the DJ because I hadn't had really a chance to talk to him. I was good friends with him. Like, hey, I'm still buddies with him. Good friends, whatever. Yeah. But I'd worked with the guy for a long time, so I was like, hey, I'm going to say hi to him. I haven't seen him for a while. And so I went and talked to him, and I'm wearing this pinch cap.
Okay.
Same one I wore at the bar.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it before.
That Guinness pinch cap or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It might have been a different one. I have like 4 of them. But I don't often wear hats.
Yeah.
But at this point I was. And this gal walked up, and she took the hat off of my head. And she said, see that table of girls over there, those hot chicks that are my friends? We think you're way too hot for this ugly hat. And I said, oh. I took my hat back, and I put it back on my head, and I said, this is the last thing my father gave me before he died. And I walked off the stage, and I went and sat down next to the boss and was drinking my beer and started bullshitting with the boss.
Yeah.
And so fucking maybe 5-10 minutes later, the gal walks back up. She goes, look, I am so sorry. We were just trying to hang out with you and flirt with you. We all think you're really hot. I'm like, because you're drunk. I didn't say that part, but it was obvious.
Well, obvious. Yeah.
And I'm
drunk
like,
girls say
okay,
the
cool.
things.
And she was saying, she went off like, I'm so sorry. I can't believe, I didn't realize. It was a huge mistake. We were just trying to be cute, blah, blah, blah. We want to buy you your drinks for the night. Come sit with us. Come hang out. We'll take you to dinner afterwards. Probably Denny's because it's the only thing that's going to be open. But come hang out with us, please. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Thanks. Have a nice night. Enjoy your evening.
Yeah.
And so she goes, and she walked away. And so the boss, Jazz, was like, what the fuck was that about? So I told her what happened.
Yeah.
And what I said, she's like, oh my God, is that true? I said, fuck no, I bought this thing at like Spencer's or something. She goes, oh my God, you were the most evil person I've ever met in my life. I'm like, chicks do that to guys all the time. Fuck off, Jazz.
She's going to be contemplating her life decisions for the next week.
Dude, Jazz was like, she was shook by that comment. She was like,
funny.
oh my God, that's evil. I'm like, well, don't treat people like shit. Guys get shelved by chicks all the time. Like,
it's true.
I'm sorry. I've never gone up to a chick at the bar and said, hey, that blouse makes you look fat. Want to give me a blowjob? Like, it doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't.
So that hat's way too ugly.
That hat's making you look ugly, basically.
You're way too hot for that ugly ass hat. I had I used to keep my hair really short or shaved when I would bounce and stuff because I didn't want my hair getting fucking grabbed.
Yeah.
Because it had happened, and so I started fucking picking my hair. Yeah. And this one chick walked in, and she's like, I just want you to know you should wear a hat because you look like a racist. And I looked at her, and I'm like, that is the most stupid thing anyone has ever told me in the history of my life.
Thanks for the example of prime ignorance.
She's like, no, I'm just trying to help you here. I'm like, no, you're just being an ignorant cunt.
No.
Fuck off. Like,
no,
and her friends came up later and apologized to 2 people and she was very white and her friends were very much dark. And they came up and apologized. We are so sorry. Your hair looks really good short like that. It works for your face. I said, you don't have to like apologize or give me a comment, but now my ego is stoked, so thank you very much. I needed that.
There you go. I mean,
and then I bought them drinks.
Well, that's nice. I find small solace in people who do that because typically that means something inside of them is not at ease.
Something's not functioning properly.
Something is not there. Like maybe they are actually a closet racist. I don't know, and they just want to project onto me. Like, well, why is that there?
Yeah, I was hanging out with the Bobby. You know.
Oh yeah.
And we had just had a barbecue. He was over. Now, folks listening, Bobby is a good friend. I mean, he's a great guy, African American dude, awesome dude, great cook,
nice guy.
Really, really cool dude. I love hanging out with the guy. I love having him at my house. I love hanging out at his place. We drank some really nice cognac together. Fuck, that was good.
There you go.
I don't normally drink cognac, but I did in that situation. But I'm out back at the bar, and this chick, for some reason, decided to call me racist, and he just looked at her like, "Are you out of your mind?"
Yeah.
He came here with me. I feel like it's just stupid divides that don't make any sense, and people. It's always white people calling other people racist. Have you noticed that?
It is.
Maybe not always, but every time I've been
Not
called
in
racist,
every
it's been by a
aspect,
white dude
because
or a
there
white
are-
chick. It's usually chicks too.
Yeah.
And it's usually if you don't agree with them about something, or you're just standing there doing nothing.
Well, it's
happened like 5
definitely
times.
an easy card to throw to try and kind of shove someone off their pedestal, right?
And lift yourself
So
up
if-
in the pecking
yeah,
order.
you're
Like
trying to elevate yourself in a social
the high
environment.
horse thing, yeah.
So by calling out or pointing to a person and saying, "Ah, you're a racist," well, okay, cool. Well, you're calling me a racist. Well, prove it.
Exactly.
And then they go, "Well, I don't have to." No, yes, you do.
Yeah,
Just because you
need
say
to
the
give
word.
me evidence of why you're accusing me of this thing.
I'll look at the person and I'll be like, just because you say a word doesn't mean it has meaning. You have to provide proof.
Somebody, so I
It's
ripped
like-
into one dude once,
like, dude,
and
get outta
so
here.
again, the bar we hang out at, because we hang out at the same place. Not really a dive, but I guess kind of. But
Yeah.
it's a really chill place. Everybody mostly gets along pretty well for the
They
most
do.
part.
They
You
do.
know,
Yeah.
more than most places that I've gone to ever.
That's
And-
actually why I like the bar.
Exactly.
Yep.
The owner's really freaking cool. The staff is really awesome. Love
Yep.
the staff. Love the owner.
Yep.
And that's why I go there, because it's safe. Because I've worked in bars for so long that I'm like, I don't want to go to a place where I think I might get shanked in the neck. Anyway, so where was I going with this? I had something to say here. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Something. Where was I?
are you
I lost train of
moving
thought.
towards something that happened the other night? Because we had some crazy
Not
stuff happen.
too long
but-
ago. I don't remember the other night that well. No, somebody. Oh, that's what it was. Somebody who was not a regular at the bar started doing the racist thing to me, like, "Oh, you're racist," blah blah blah, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're just gonna show things that aren't true." Well, you're probably a pedophile, so you fuck kids. I just kept saying that over
Oh,
and over.
God, dude.
What's up, pedophile? He finally left.
No.
He finally just took off. He just bounced out.
Yeah,
That was hella funny.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's happened there. Is just every now and then we get a
Well,
weird,
that and
weird
those
group of people
two-
who are obviously not regulars,
Yeah,
and
those
when
two
that
couples
happens,
the other night.
they're not vibing.
Was
Oh,
it-
the two couples.
It was
the other night.
Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
And
I had to
they
tell-
were
this
letting
dude's
into
rolling a
Alexis.
joint in the bar, and I'm like, get the fuck out of the bar.
You guys can't do the reefer in the bar.
It is illegal. They will lose
It's
their
legal
bar.
if you smoke out back.
You're
but you
talking
can't
about-
smoke it in the bar.
You're right.
It's-
Let alone rolling the joint in the bar. This
Yeah,
man is
don't
rolling
do
the
that.
joint in the bar.
It's just rude, first of all.
And I look at the guy and I go, you can't do that. And he's like, excuse me? I go, look, I'm not the bar owner, but you can't do that.
And
I'm not trying to be a whistleblower, but I'm just like, dude, you need to get out of here. Like, you're going to cost this girl her job.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to cost this dude his bar.
I was so mad, dude. She was like in tears after that. And I'm like, dude,
She
we
was.
have your back. Everyone at this bar would
She
kick the
was.
crap out of those people for you without a problem.
pretty fucked up.
What's his face even stepped? I can't remember his name. The smaller
Marty?
guy.
Marty.
Yeah, Marty. He's like the prettiest dude, like outside of you. And he's tiny, but he was a fucking firecracker that night. He was
Yeah,
ready
he
to throw
was.
fucking hands. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, Marty.
Well, that was because dude got in he
Kinda
was
scared
rude.
me
He
a
got in
little
his
bit.
face, actually. And
Did he really?
Yeah, Marty said, hey, Marty was like, the dude just kept staring at me. And I asked him, hey, what's up?
Dude, Marty was fucking riled,
And,
bro. I've
yeah,
never
he just
seen
got
him
a
like
little-
that.
He got a little upset.
I was so proud of him. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, but you should probably leave that to guys like me who normally beat the crap out of people that are shitty.
Yeah, Marty's just,
He's such a
you never know.
sweetheart.
You never
He's
know.
such a
though.
nice- he
maybe
probably can.
maybe Marty throws hands. You don't know.
I
You
don't.
don't?
No, he doesn't.
You don't?
I can tell you by his hands, he doesn't throw
Okay.
hands.
Well, yeah, mine are all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
But,
can look at
yeah.
somebody's hands and know if they fight.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
saying
mean-
he can't. I'm just saying he doesn't.
Yeah, and Marty's a really nice guy.
Oh,
so I
dude,
don't think anybody should
one of the
be
nicest
treating him like
kids.
that.
He's such a nice kid, dude.
Really
Him and
nice
his
guy.
gal, they're freaking awesome. He's a good singing voice too.
Yeah, I know. He likes karaoke.
Yeah, he just
Yep.
needs to remember the lyrics.
Yeah, well, you drink too many. You
And
kinda
none of us
forget.
remember the lyrics at one point. When we were hanging out.
I gotta use the restroom.
Oh, you gotta use the restroom? Okay, so
Yeah.
what we're going to do is go through the gate, through the back door. I have a
All
dog,
right.
but she's very nice.
All right.
Well, actually, let's end it real quick, and then,
You want to?
yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
We're almost 2 hours.
Yeah, we're good.
So,
this was fun.
but I got to pee too, so it's fine. It's not like we can't fire this all back up if we decide we want to keep going.
All right.
Anyway, so thanks for watching and listening
Yeah,
to
thank you,
Vanishing Gates. Dude, thanks for being on, Lance. It's awesome to have you here. I hope you're back again soon, very soon. Maybe I'll actually have a modicum of a topic to talk about.
That could be fun.
Yes. Another big shout out to our sponsors, Manitoba's 2 Street Music and Lost Boys.
Yes.
Check them out. They are online, and I should probably have their web stuff, but I don't off the top of my head. Anyway, thanks for listening. Happy Krampusnacht. And good nightmares.